That was horrible. I have such a big announcement.
You have such a big announcement. You waved your arms out before I could even say a thing. So you must have. It's big.
It's big.
You cannot contain it.
It is grandiose. It is exuberant.
What else you got? Give me another descriptor.
Flagellant. It
It
is boisterous.
Okay.
It is unrotten. It is au gratin.
Okay.
It is
I love that's my favorite uncle, Al Groton.
Al Gratin. He loves cheese.
Al
He
Groton,
loves
thanks for
potatoes.
this cheese. I just, cheese has expiration dates on it, Al. You know this, right? It's weird to call my uncle by his first, I don't know, Uncle Al, Uncle Groton.
Uncle Groton.
Uncle Groton is pretty good.
He's always getting faux gratin.
He always brings me the stinkiest cheeses. Thank you, Uncle Groton. So anyway.
Oh, yeah, my announcement. We're going to space.
We're going to space.
Yeah.
The final frontier.
Yeah, so I learned that on the moon...
I'm going to talk like this now because we're going up into space.
Because you're in the space age.
I'm in the space age, the golden age, and the final frontier. That's all I got for this bit, is that it's the final frontier.
We get that. You're really...
Did I mention the fact that it's the last one? There are no more frontiers. It's just space out there, guys. It's the final one.
Oh, dude,
We ran out.
We're
fresh out of frontiers, unfortunately. You missed them. Everyone came and got all the frontiers. It's just us now. We're the final one.
Now it's rear tiers. All of it's rear tiers. No more frontiers.
No more. You got the frontiers, you got the back tiers.
Is it tiers or ears? Front ears or frontiers?
So,
because one's sad and one's listening.
Oh, no. One's sad and one's... Tell me about space.
So we're going to space. I did a lot of research. Well, okay. Sorry. Science Jim did a lot of research on space.
He puts in the work and the time. We pay him for it.
Yeah,
so.
we do. And we had a long talk. So you know how when you get in trouble at work, you get pulled into an office.
It makes me so anxious.
And then
when your boss looks at you and says, "We need to talk," and you immediately start sweating.
Everything has gone wrong. And then every job you have for the rest of your life, you see your bosses go into the office, and you're like, "Oh shit, what did I do?"
Yep.
And then you're sitting there and you're panicking. And then they come out, "Hi, Derek." You're like, "No, I just wasted 20 minutes being worried."
I was sitting there stressing for 20 minutes. You're telling me hello, hi,
You're telling me,
how dare
hi.
you?
Hello, hi, how are you?
Do I mean nothing to you? Does my stress mean nothing to you, boss?
Anyways, this happened to Science Jim. We had to pull him into an office.
Yeah.
His limp body was laying there.
Well, we were kind of messing with him though. We definitely made it seem like, hey, Science Jim, we should why don't you step into our office? We've got a chat we need to have with you. All right, just when you're ready, just come on in.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got all the characters together. We rounded everybody up. We had a really big intervention with Science Jim.
There was a lot of love, we're not coming in and attacking Science Jim, we're here with coming from a place of love and accepting and wanting our friend to be well, because he's our employee, but he's our friend as well.
He came from us. He was birthed from our hands.
Birthed from us.
We must
made that.
love him.
Frankenstein style. We created a monster.
So anyway, we sat him down, we put a little helmet on him. It was super cute. Can't show it because it doesn't exist. And we put it on him, and we said, "Science Jim, you're going to space." And he said, "Oh my God, that's amazing." Do you like my Science Jim impression?
That's really good, actually.
Oh my God, that's so amazing. I'm going to space. Thank you so much.
That's like almost it. I like that.
Almost, yeah. It's like a little different, but anyway. So anyway, we shot him up into space.
Yeah.
The craziest thing happened to him. He started getting radio transmissions from Earth.
Oh.
And it was saying that he was listening to a podcast.
Okay.
And that podcast was
horrible. I know that one. That's a podcast where we do our best
at reviewing the worst in the horror industry.
My name is Isaac.
And I'm Derek.
And we are from space. Now, Derek, I did get correspondence from Science Jim actually from space. And so I'm going to need your help because I can't read all of it, Derek. So let's don't laugh, Derek. I need you to help me out here. So I'm just gonna read. I'm gonna read what he sent us, but I need you to fill in the blanks for me. Okay.
Okay.
We're not you. Yeah. Okay. So it says, "Hello, my name is Astronaut
Jimble."
Okay, Astronaut Jimble. I am on my way to planet
Scaramon.
Okay. I will be gone for
7
days. I am very
hungry
about the trip, but I will miss my
cats."
Science Jim has cats. Didn't know you had cats. I have heard that the atmosphere there is
black.
Luckily, my
French aunt
packed me a jacket to keep me
cold.
And when I land on the planet, I will
scream
for joy. I am
wonderfully. Wait,
that's a great adjective.
I am purple.
I am purple to walk on another planet. I could not be more
purple
for this trip.
So Isaac just pulled up Mad Libs. It was a space exploration Mad Libs. And I was on the fly. You can't trick me into quickly knowing what an adjective and a noun is. Listen, I am a fully grown college graduate, but looking at the word noun gives me an actual panic attack.
Yep. I might as well have just said, fuck you, Derek.
You did.
No, I was hoping you would have more luck with that because I actually went through that before we started recording and I was like, man, what the hell is an adjective?
Right?
Like, I don't know.
No, it's like you don't think about those words since like elementary school.
Right. It's like
even like high school, you don't really even talk about those words.
I'm no English major.
No, of course.
So Science Jim went up into space, but he didn't go to Sprigadoon. What was that planet? You made up a planet.
I just said a bunch of words. I just said a bunch of letters.
But he didn't go to Sprigadoon or whatever Derek said. He actually went to Saturn. Where he went.
Well, he first went to Omicron Persei 8.
Oh, okay.
And then he looped back, stopped off at the moon, got some cheese, said hi to Wallace, and now
he said goodbye to Lur. He said goodbye. Goodbye, it is me.
Hey, you knew
I know it's
reference.
Lur from Omicron Persei 8.
Very good. That was funny.
I literally only know that much about Futurama because of my siblings. Shout out to you guys for keeping me educated on the futures and the Amas.
There's a reason that Futurama has lived on TV for so long.
For so long. And then they brought it
back. Oh, like 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
It has changed publishing companies.
Just when you thought you killed it, Futurama comes back again, back from the grave.
In the future, technically, Amma. So we're going to space, though.
We're going to space,
and
not in the future.
The reason. Science Jim is lost.
So
he is floating out there. We're very worried about him.
We did a bad job at preparing him to go into space. We didn't know anything about it. We found a rocket and we said, wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't this be so funny? Let's just throw him into space.
I've been really eager about buying things on eBay lately.
Okay,
There's something I wanted to get Emily for her birthday coming up, and so I was like just plowing through eBay, and I finally did it. And then I was like, spaceships. Oh, that's cool. Oh my god, like a real SpaceX rocket.
It was just like recommended for you. You know, you're looking at, oh, cool, good gift for my wife. Oh, wait, spaceship.
Yeah,
can't pass that up.
And it was SpaceX, but I didn't think about the fact it was spelled SPACEX.
SpaceX. SpaceX.
Oh. Because like Elon's thing is SpaceX with the big.
So
X
this is different. They
so
tricked
like
you a little bit.
It was like Kroger brand.
I think even SpaceX normal is off-brand. Tesla space rocket ship.
Anyway,
but so
an off-brand rocket of an off-brand rocket basically is what I bought. Anyway, so
we brought the off.
We packed him in there, and here's a recording of him getting in. Guys, what am I doing? Why are you putting me in this? Oh my god, help!
Don't worry, Science Jim. Just I'm gonna buckle you in here, strap you in. You're all set. Here's a helmet. I don't know how to supply it with air, but
is it a bad time to remind you that if you take your hand out of me, I become a non-existent? Oh man, there goes a bit of fabric.
We're locking off in 10, 9.
You gotta
count all the way down to 1, and then pretend I did it all because no one wants to listen to that.
You got to say the right one. It's astronauts report conditions. Good. T-minus 25. Second, 15. 12, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Lift off. I tried to read. Spoiler alert: the movie we watched today had a lot of space travel in it.
What?
And I was trying to read the T- thing from it, but I'm using auto-generated script.
Yes.
The only other script I could find for this movie was $2,500.
People really love selling scripts for a lot of money.
And so, they don't know how math works.
They don't know how math works. Wait, how do the numbers go in the auto captioned one?
It was like, oh, hey.
Uh-huh.
There's just like 5 a couple times in a row.
Skips. Oh yeah, there's 6, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2.
And then it says like music a bunch.
Music, seconds, music, Scorpio music, 5, music.
Music. Okay, so we're heading up there.
We're getting up there.
We're gonna pick
the final frontier.
Oh my god! I want one day to have more than one ear, because I think like the joy of having 2 ears would be like so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want one day to have more than one ear, because I think like the joy of having 2 ears would be like so much fun. Like, I want one day to have more than one ear, because I think like the joy of having 2 ears would be like so much fun. Like, I want one day to have more than one ear, because I think like the joy of having 2 ears would be like so much fun. Like, I want one day to have more than one ear, because I think like the joy of having 2 ears would be like so much fun. Like, I want one day to have more than one ear, because I think like the joy of having 2 ears would be like so much fun. Like, I want one day to have more than one ear, because I think like the joy of having 2 ears would be like so much fun. Like, I want one day to have more than one ear, because I think like the joy of having 2 ears would be like so much fun. Like, I want one day to have more than one ear, because I think like the joy of having 2 ears would be like so much fun. Like, I want one day to have more than one ear, so great.
Well, just imagine like you could wear headphones and not have them slip off of one side of your head. You could like wear glasses and they wouldn't be lopsided.
I've had to tape glasses to my head for so much of my life.
And then I would not feel like I was wasting money when I buy like earbuds and I'm like, well, I'm only going to use one of these. But they don't sell single AirPods, like that's not fun.
And I mean, I kind of game the system because like I use one until it's out of battery and then I switch to the other one and kind of have to like rotate it weird.
So you got like double, but there is the kind of like, you have to fit it weird inside of there, right?
It's the same thing if you only have one left foot instead of having a right foot and a left foot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because like you wear your left shoe until it's not charged anymore and then you put your right shoe on your left foot.
Now my question is, do you start with the ill-fitting one? Like if you just had
absolutely.
Yeah, so then you can live the good life after that, right?
Yeah, because like if you descend, right? It's oh my goodness, it's depressing. Sorry, only having one ear is really choking me up.
Yeah, so it's a sore subject for us. So Derek has one right ear, I have one left ear.
Rear.
This is one rear,
front
one rear
ear.
and one leer.
Front ear, king lear. Okay. I don't really know where this bit was going anymore. It's derailed. It is eared.
Frontier. On the final frontier, we came across a movie, though.
That's it.
Floating within space. And Derek hooked me up with my little astronaut suit. I had that little like umbilical cord to feed me the air as I was floating out into space.
I kept putting fruit punch in it. It was really funny.
And I was splashing around and choking on it. It was fine. It did kind of taste pretty good, so I was okay with it. Yeah. I reach out in front of me and I pull a DVD. And what was that DVD?
It was The Incredible Melting Man from
1977.
I kept doing this really funny thing. Wherever you would ask for more air, I would just put an airhead in the...
And it took me a minute to get, like, I didn't understand exactly what the bit was at first. But then I was like, oh, that's so funny. Derek, that's a funny joke.
I can just imagine you dying in space.
Some air.
But you're like so appreciative of the bit. You're like, yeah, that's really good, bud.
I'm actually not Isaac. It's me, Puny the punter.
Ah, shit.
You put me in a spacesuit and now I'm dying, but I'm so proud of you for the joke.
Didn't I, like, kill this guy once?
You killed me right now in space.
Well, Puny Punter's dead, which is great for me because he was awful. And
floating around in space. Maybe he'll come back down to us crashing down meteor style. You never know what's going to happen out there. But so if you remember a couple episodes ago, we watched Popcorn, right? Great movie. Good times to be had all around. In that movie, they're showing a movie film festival. And just in the background of a lot of the scenes in that movie, they have a lot of posters for other movies. So we actually saw this one. Derek caught this one. He's like, let's check that out. Bink, 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 bink. And then guess what? It was rated low enough that we could watch it for this podcast.
And I get why.
A little bit.
So, yeah, we decided to put on this flick. Mm-hmm. I realized this was actually a Mystery Science Theater 3000 that I'm pretty sure I've seen before.
Really?
There were bits of this music that...
bits of this music.
Sorry.
It's just one long music video, actually.
That would have been better. There are bits of this movie that seemed familiar to me, and I couldn't really figure out why. There was like a time in my life where I downloaded every single Mystery Science Theater that had ever been ever.
And we wonder why we have a podcast like we do.
I know.
It all makes sense.
I specifically remember, though, I was playing Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, and I was watching them on my computer, and I was like, one would end and be like, that was so funny, put on another. Mm-hmm. And then that's the rest of his future.
So you were kind of like half watching them because you were playing the game, right?
Exactly. Well, and I would argue that watching Mystery Science Theater, like watch a movie,
right,
is equivalent to learning a movie through us, right? You're only getting the comedic parts of it. You're only getting the basic structure of the movie.
That makes sense.
So like, even if I was like 8 degrees of separation from this movie when I watched it.
So what do you remember about it? Huh? What do you remember about this movie? Anything?
Well, not really anything. I just like while we were watching it, I was like, this isn't completely unfamiliar to me. Like, it felt familiar.
You're like, I've seen this place. I have memory of this place.
I've seen this place before. A little Les Mis reference for all those
for all those theater fans out there.
Like that.
I feel like every episode of this one we have some stupid theater bit, which makes sense for two theater men. So
theater man,
it tracks in there. But yeah, we watched The Incredible Melting Man, and was it incredible? Well, we'll tell you later.
I think
it
should have been The Incredible Melted Man, because then there wouldn't have been a movie. Womp womp.
It's just like 2 hours of just like a melted puddle in the sun, just chilling there. The birds are coming and picking at it. A janitor having to come shoo them away, but he's not cleaning it up because it's a little bit of a mess.
Okay, imagine for yourself a different timeline.
All right, new timeline
where not William Shakespeare. Okay,
William
imagine yourself a different timeline where Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds became incredibly popular amongst birds, okay? So the birds
like
were
a movie theater full of birds.
Yeah, there's so many birds in there. So you know how like yeah, you get it.
Love the movie.
Exactly, you get it. Okay, so like right now during Utah, in Utah, there's like a huge migration of these like little birds. So there's
so many birds.
Anyway, it's incredible. Swarms of birds everywhere. We're probably going to die. No big deal.
It's fine. It's an omen. It's whatever. We're dealing with it. We're coping fine.
Imagine for yourself, though, an alternate reality in which the birds... This is a sketch. I should just save this, but I'm going to say it anyway.
It's fine. Imagine... We'll just trade... It's trademarks. TM.
TM. Don't steal this.
You can't steal this now because we said TM.
I see you... there.
We see you right. Put your laptop down. Put it down. Don't put that in your notes app. It doesn't belong there. It's ours.
I don't have the technology ability to make this happen. But so imagine for yourself a world in which Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds was incredibly popular amongst birds. So like you go into the movie theater, you sit down to watch The Birds, and you're like, oh, there's bird shit everywhere, and like squawkers are here. You know?
Yeah.
So
do you think birds like hate parrots when they come into this thing? Because they're the chatty ones. Yeah. Like birds are squawking the whole time.
The birds are coming.
Nope. Look out behind you.
Oh, don't go in there. No, okay. I'm going somewhere with this bit, though.
Yes.
So they became so obsessed with Alfred Hitchcock's work that they started watching all of his filmography.
So you're telling me birds are just fans of his entire deal?
They think it's hilarious that his name is Hitchcock, you know, cock like the bird. And so they're like...
Cock is funny.
Not like that. I mean, like they just like birds. Birds like birds. This is fact.
And like the leader of the birds is Alfred Hitchcockatoo.
Nice.
See?
No, okay. So my point of this is like, what if they became so obsessed with it that they started genetically changing their DNA to only squawk in the sounds of Alfred Hitchcock scores?
Oh,
so you have like you're like taking a shower, and all of a sudden outside you hear what.
And you think you're about to get stabbed?
Yeah, but it's just the birds. Oh, it's the psycho bird. Oh, look over there. That bird's falling.
It's That's the
vertigo bird.
That's the vertigo bird. Yeah, of course. Yes. Today on planet Earth, we find the wonderful psycho bird.
You're walking through. You're walking through this.
The vertigo bird.
Oh, he is gaslighting that bird. And then you see, like, you're walking down the street and you pass by a hotel, and there's just like rows and rows of birds just sitting in the windowsills, rear windowing it. So they're like looking through a telescope, and they're like, "Wait, I want to take a turn." But all of them have a little cast on their leg.
And the eerie, off-putting rear window bird. And if you look all around you, every corner of the world, there is the birds. They're just birds.
Yeah,
there's nothing special about those ones.
All the other ones have like ascended. So I actually
they all just sound like Tippi Hedren.
All of the other birds are doing something. They're reenacting some sort of Alfred Hitchcock movie.
It changes the world.
Like any bird you see on a wire, they're pretending they're on a rope, like Alfred Hitchcock's The Rope. And like, but
just keep them coming. This is great.
I think I'm out. But so like, I just like the idea of the rear window one, because you have these birds that are like, they're looking through the telescope, they're watching something happen, and then like fast forward to the next scene, you see at like a police station rows and rows of birds trying to tell the policeman about their neighbor that was like murdering their wife or something.
Right, my neighbor murdered my wife. Right.
All right, put your ticket in.
Right, thank you. I'm gonna go break in myself.
There's bird shit everywhere. It's a mess.
Because in this reality, there are more birds.
I was gonna say, yeah. I suppose in this reality we've created here, there are just so many birds all over the place. Nothing but birds. It's birds all the way down, birds all the way up, birds all the way down. But that's life.
Birds all the way down, but that's life. That's life. Oh, I forgot to mention Vertigo. I mean,
no, we mentioned.
Wait. Yeah, that was gaslighting. We mentioned that one.
There's
The Man Who Knew Too Much. Birds just know a lot.
Yes, hello, officer. Yes, no crime has been committed yet, but I worried there might be. There's this bird who's looking at me, and he looks like I don't know how to describe him. I must describe him as a man who knows too much, and it's really off-putting. Clearly, I know exactly what happens in this movie.
There's like a bunch of birds like around a payphone, and they're crows, and they're dialing. And they're like, "Where's the M? We want to dial M for murder," because they're crows.
Yeah,
murder of crows.
Picking with their little beaks.
I don't know if you noticed, that was like a 12-layer joke.
Derek,
like a cake.
Derek, I just, it's not in me right now. I know Puny Punter would have loved that.
Yeah, but
joke,
he's
man.
dead in space.
He's dead in space right now, and that's just really, it's putting me. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty sad about that.
Guess you could say it was a 39-step joke, as in the 39 steps. Oh man, I didn't know that today was going to be so rife with Alfred Hitchcock jokes. I think my mom would be proud of me if she wasn't so North by Northwest, you know.
Oh, he's got the jokes. He's got the. Here, let me try. You did an impression of Science Jimmy. Let me try. Hey, it's me, Puny the Punter.
I get it.
That's not. I can't.
It's almost there. You got to like get more up in your nose and like pull your teeth back.
Hi, it's me, Puny the Punter. That's not it. No, that's disrespectful of his memory.
Oh, Rebecca, you're funny. Rebecca's another Alfred Hitchcock movie.
Now, speaking of memory, remind me what movie we watched.
Cats.
I do know. Oh, we have. We have discussed what movie we watched.
Yeah, we did.
We watched The Incredible Melting Man,
and we even said what year it was from.
It's incredible.
We
That's
said
for
where we found it.
Is it incredible because it is good? Is it incredible because it is less than good? You decide, or maybe we'll decide and we'll tell you about it.
Tell me what you're drinking.
Up on Grandpapa's knee, and I'll tell you all about The Incredible Melting Man
Grandpa?
from 1977.
What are you drinking today?
Well, you see, I'm going to reach over here and, well, you see, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm going to have my good friend here tell me all about it.
Can't read.
I can't read my glass. Billy Bo.
It's me, Bilbo Bartender.
Oh, thank you, Billy Bo. Now you take it away. I love you so much.
What you're drinking is the melted face of one who is dead.
It's always people. It's always people.
I do not drink anyone.
You can't make normal drinks, Bilbo. It's always got to have people in it.
One of these days, he's going to come in here and just be like, this is a martini.
That would be so much funnier. Bilbo, what am I drinking? Have a martini.
I was born today.
That's it. That's all you got for me? Okay, thanks.
No, that's stupid. That's the dumbest thing you've ever said.
You're right. You would never. Not my Bilbo.
This drink is a Bacardi Wonderland filled with pineapple and peaches and oranges. But don't forget.
So just kind of a melting pot of a lot of different things.
You get it. It's melted.
Oh.
I stirred it up with the bones from his skull, and I dripped in like you know when a towel gets wet. I drinked it out in there.
Oh gosh,
icky.
That's terrible.
Anyway, and then I garnished it with nothing because life is pointless.
Oh gosh,
soupy twist.
Oh god, this drink is leaving me with existential
I don't think
dread.
he actually told us what was in the drink.
Nothing means anything. He said something about flesh and pineapple. Is that enough?
But there's also like rum.
Oh right, yeah. Bacardi Wonderland or something like that.
Bacardi is a wonderland.
Bacardi is a wonderland. Bacardi is a wonderland.
You know that song?
Yeah, exactly. We all love that
John
song.
Mayer.
We love the
That's John Mayer, right?
I don't. Derek, look it up right now.
No.
I can't do it again.
No.
That sounds right. It's gotta be.
I totally wrote your mom. Your body is
a wonderland. It's
Thank you
definitely
for singing
it's
that out.
It's Monjair.
That's Monjair.
That's Monjair.
Hear that, Steven? My father-in-law? I got that one.
We got it. We're not gonna mess things up.
I also
ever.
know things about music.
Oh? Tell me something about music, Derek.
C sharp.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
I don't have my xylophone or I'd hit a C sharp right now. But, you know.
No, we had to restrict him from. Oh, you're going to pull out the pitch pipe again.
Well, you were supposed to say it because last time I tried to blow into this.
It did not go very well.
I also don't think you can do a C sharp on here. What if someone needs to tune to C sharp?
Well, then there's.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
C-sharp.
never mind. Okay, that one worked.
That was nice.
Just one more time.
No, harmonize to it. This is horrible content.
We have a podcast we do, and we will bring it to you. We'll talk
we have
about the melting man.
About the melting man.
That was good. That was almost Teenagers by My Chemical Romance.
Oh.
We have a podcast for you.
Melting man, they scare the shit out of me.
They could care less if they go eating on me.
And you know why Melting Men scare the shit out of me? It's because they were done practically by the wonderful Rick Baker. Rick Baker is here. If you'll remember him, he's done some
Sound
wonderful
the
work.
Rick Baker alarm.
Rick Baker.
Rick Baker.
You guys know who Rick Baker is?
It's the parrots actually.
Rick Baker. I don't think Rick Baker worked on any Hitchcock movies. He definitely didn't. I think that was way after his time. Oh, God,
no, definitely.
I need to stop making assumptions.
Not that I know of.
I don't think he did. I mean, I don't want to be wrong about something.
Like most notably, like the biggest one that we can name is definitely the fact that he did an American Werewolf in London, not in Paris, not an American Werewolf in Paris.
You know, birds really love an American Werewolf in Paris.
Wow, love that movie.
They love it when condoms fall in people's soup.
It
is their favorite thing because then they get the whole bowl of soup.
That's fair.
What are you looking at?
I'm just looking at Rick Baker and all of his wonderful work now. So yeah, Rick Baker is a wonderful like special effects makeup artist that did the effects in this one. Helped out in the in An American Werewolf in London, right? So he was responsible for the makeup in this one, which we did not know until we started the movie.
No, and then it was there, and we both screeched. It came from outer space is a movie he did.
It came from outer space. What came from outer space, Derek? Describe to me what came from outer space.
I was seeing if that movie was bad enough.
Oh, okay.
The actual,
probably not. No, it's 80% on Rotten Tomatoes.
But
no
Barbara
way
Rush
in hell.
is in that movie, and her name kind of sounds like Barbara Bush.
I want to say this was probably like the third shut, Derek. Shut, just stupid, dumb. Crash Jante's here to tell you you're dumb.
Hey, Cress, I'm glad you came, actually.
I'm glad too.
I needed to talk to you. Are you doing okay?
I'm all right. The Necronomicon did wonders for bringing the fly back to life. Now he's not sounding great, but he's alive, and I'm happy about that.
Me in sauce, I'm a fry.
He thinks he's a fry, and I'm trying to fix that problem.
Sizzle, sizzle, it's me, the fry.
We're almost there. Come on, let's more conditioning. I think I'm turning into a Frankenstein type. I'm a scientist now. I've been hanging out with Science Jim, and he's been teaching me all about the tubes and the Nikola Tesla coils and all of the science stuff.
Imagine if you swallowed a Tesla coil.
Like the old lady who swallowed the Tesla coil. I love that movie. I love that.
There was an old woman who swallowed a coil. I don't know why she swallowed Tesla coil.
Perhaps she'll die.
I guess she'll illuminate. So imagine you are walking down the street, and you're walking down the street, and you see someone walking towards you, and their stomach is just glowing blue. Mm-hmm. And so you go up to them and say, "Tesla coil." And they're like,
Tesla coil?
Yeah, but Tesla coil.
How did you know? Wow,
I thought I was the only one. And then you reveal your stomach,
and you're also glowing.
Coil. I think you would die, but
you would both die. I think if you got close enough to each other,
they would start reacting
between each other. Oh God!
Oh, there it is.
You start having it's like having an arch nemesis. You start to feel a tingle in the air, they're here. They're here. I know it. I can sense them in the building.
It's actually in the future. It's a new way to do restraining orders because then it's like both parties are terrified to go near each other because then they'll just implode.
Yeah, you'll just die.
You
if
get
you go
a
near
Tesla
him.
coil surgically implanted in your rectum.
Come near me again, and it will kill you and me. So you really want that on your conscience and your dead conscience? You'll be dead.
This is good content. That's funny. That's no one's saying that.
No one's ever said that.
The world just said stick a Tesla coil in their rectum. I don't think anyone in the world has said that.
I kind of forgot you mentioned it was going in the rectum.
I mean,
we all knew. Everybody knew where it was going.
You're either going to swallow it or shove it up there.
I thought we were swallowing it.
One hole is a lot more receptive to giant things, right? It's going to... Do you have to delete that?
No. All of that, every part of that stays in there.
Just like the Tesla coil. Okay, so now we're going to move on.
Just like every part of this movie stayed inside of it, when maybe it shouldn't have.
Oh, that was funny.
There's a lot of that happens in this movie that maybe they should have cut out of it.
Do you think if you have a Tesla coil in your butt that when you're riding on a Segway, the Segway doesn't like it?
He's flying. Where's he going, Derek? He's being pulled away by his Tesla coil.
I just thought it'd be funny to say that far away from the microphone. All right, so let's talk about The Incredible Melting Man from 1977.
The Final Frontier.
If you say the Final Frontier one more time, I'm going to lose my right ear, and then I won't have any ear.
He would have lost his final front ear.
It's going to be my final ear for year.
At least he still got his back ears.
I will shed a tear for my final ear that I lost this year.
All this year? Oh, damn, you beat me to it.
I have a fear about losing this ear.
God, you keep getting every single one that I want, just out of sheer luck.
There it is. Sheer. Mirror?
Near.
Mirror.
Far. Wherever you talk about this movie now.
Oh, that was good. I just said the right word. Can we just real quick though before we get into like the nitty-gritty of this
Sounds like you need a box to stand on, Derek.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, what if we created a What are you talking about? I'm already here. It's me.
No need to create a character. We found ourselves a real horse. God, watching him in action is like so beautiful. Look at him go. It's really poetry in motion to watch him build these boxes.
It's like, you know, in that scene from that one movie where like the water's falling on them and they're just like dancing and the water's like splashing on them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that. It makes the studio wet. It's sopping wet every single time. But it's totally worth it for High Horse Palomino.
So anyway, he built a box for me, and I'm going to send
a box.
Thank you. Palomino, you okay?
So before we start.
No, I was going to talk about the movie.
Oh, yeah. Before we start, you said, this is why you have a box.
Oh, are you helping me?
Yeah, you have a box.
Garfield be with you. Okay, so...
and also with you.
Oh, we need to do goroscopes. So we...
Close, but yes.
I had confirmation that people like the horoscopes.
For real?
Yeah, someone told me that they like the horoscopes.
That's it. They're sticking around.
And then my sister-in-law Sam, who's been listening through, has gotten to the part where we've started doing horoscopes. And she's talking about how much she liked it.
All right.
Like, frick yeah, dude, that's 2 for 2.
Listen, that is a scary thing. No joke. When you start a new bit on a podcast, it's like,
oh yeah,
because we live in a vacuum. That's the scariest part about this.
I live inside of a vacuum.
We live inside of a vacuum. Please help us. We've been sucking in dust for days. But so we live inside this vacuum where we have no idea if people like the things that we do. So it's thank you for anybody who has told us, like told Derek that he liked that bit. We'll keep doing Garfield horoscopes. Should we start that now while we're talking about it?
No, we'll get back.
Okay, yeah. So you're on your high.
I'm actually going to step onto a different high horse real quick. Bing, 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 bing.
A separate.
What is the?
Are you cheating on high horse?
No. Same high horse, different box.
Okay, 2 different boxes.
I'm not going to let him eat that last box, and in a sudden, because if you don't remember the lore for high horse, is he builds a box,
he eats them.
It's his
yeah,
sustenance.
Exactly.
I don't know why I have to give like extensive background to my characters. That is impossible to follow.
The lore runs deep.
The lore runs too deep.
Yeah,
much like high horse Palominos. Anyway, so what is the flavor of Monster Energy?
Oh,
have you thought about that?
Oh man, I've always thought of it as like a fucked up Skittle. That's the best way I can describe the flavor of a Monster Energy drink.
It tastes like if gasoline was like flavorful.
I'm surprised more like Monster has never done any kind of advertisements with some kind of horror entity, right? It is Monster. Do we get that, right? It is a beast, a monster. I don't understand what it is, but I'm curious because there are other Monster flavors, right? You got a bunch of them. But there is the green one.
That like the original, the OG.
OG Monster. And it's just Monster.
Flavor is Monster.
It's a very distinct flavor, too. I remember actually, side tangent where you're trying to figure out what the flavor of Monster is. I work near a floral department, and Riley from the floral department, who also listens to this podcast, came up to me, had me smell some flowers. She's like, what does this smell like? She's like, it's some kind of soda. And I smelled it, and instantly, it was like, oh, I know this. I know what this is. I've smelled this before. I've been here before, you know? And so I was sitting there smelling, and I'm like, no, this isn't it. We passed it off, and someone else smelled it. Nope, not there. I smelled it again. I'm like, that's it. It's Monster Energy. Someone in the side of the store had taken a Monster Energy drink and poured it onto some flowers. And I wonder, is that how Audrey 2 was created?
It has to be.
It wasn't about this, total eclipse of the sun, and then this little plant was just sitting there. And then everything went dark. And when the lights came back, this weird little plant was just sitting there.
And he was spitting out Monster Energy.
Stuck in there amongst the Zydias. And he was just spitting out Monster Energy. And I said, we can bottle that. My name is Seymour, and I'm the CEO of Monster Energy.
And what came first, the Monster Energy or the Red Bull?
Oh, now we're getting deep into the lore of energy.
I actually, in this small section, I have fallen down a rabbit hole. It is so easy to fall down rabbits.
To fall down rabbits. You want me to do more about Seymour Krelborn?
No,
CEO of
I
Monster?
I know the information. I
just
typed that exact sentence into Google. What came first, the Red Bull or the Monster?
He sure did. I'm looking at it right now in front of me. It says those exact words.
Because I realized something. Red Bull tastes almost exactly like Monster, like the original flavor of Red Bull.
They do taste similar, yeah. Both of the OGs.
Apparently, it's supposed to taste like apple.
Is it?
It's supposed to be like apple juice. It's like fizzy apple juice.
It's like a sick apple, but I suppose
well,
I can kind of well,
that's something different.
Maybe we got to delete that one.
No, keep it. And to answer your question, Monster was actually created as a competitor to Red Bull.
Oh, okay. So Red Bull came first.
Yeah, Red Bull was made by a pharmacist.
A pharmacist?
Yeah, in like 1987.
They just got sick of treating people. They're like, just drink this caffeine juice. You'll be fine.
I feel like we grew up in the Chad era of life where Monster was more popular.
That's true.
I personally like Red Bull more, but like...
I'm a rock star guy myself.
Oh, really?
That's
living in big house, making 15 cars.
Girls come easy and the drugs come cheap.
Nickelback?
This song, wow, yeah.
You want your Nickelback?
Look at this photograph.
Look at this graph. Okay, that's enough about that.
Anyway,
let me sidestep over to my other Palomino.
Yeah, so now we got another box.
Okay, the tagline for this movie. Can we just talk about it really quick?
I usually will take
bad.
In the marketing for this podcast, I'll usually put in the tagline for the movie that's usually on every poster. This one struck me as odd. This one struck me as very strange. ... Come prepared! Exclamation mark. Oh, I thought you were talking about the subtitle, or I guess the title before the title. Because read what it says.
The first new horror creature, the incredible melting man, come prepared.
The first new horror creature. What do you mean? What?
Well,
what do you mean?
No,
what do you mean?
I get
what
that.
do you mean?
Let me explain it real quick.
Yeah,
Let me don my William Sachs.
There's never been a new horror creature until 1977.
It makes sense. Every horror creature before 1976, when this movie was filmed, I'm guessing,
yes,
was real.
Oh,
yeah. So Frankenstein,
yes,
the green one.
Well, the Frankenstein's monster, please.
No. In the movie, he was Frankenstein. He was real. They actually pulled him off the street.
They just found that guy, actually.
Bela Lugosi is literally a vampire.
Yeah, exactly. No, Boris Karloff really is just a creature.
Exactly.
And Lon Chaney Jr. is just a really hairy guy, and they thought, he'd make a great Wolfman.
The Invisible Man is literally just, like, he just was wearing some translucent tape. And
that's all it takes.
And it was really awkward.
No one's ever tried that, actually. They're really great, really easy. Try this at home, kids. A DIY costume for yourselves. Just cover yourself in translucent tape.
You
that's the Invisible Man.
You become see-through immediately.
Then now please do not use this to steal from any banks or places of business.
It doesn't
we are not.
Work in there.
If there are any crimes committed with this, we are not affiliated with any of this.
It's the translucent tape fiasco of 1947 actually stopped banks from allowing translucent tape into their banks.
That's why when you walk through, it's not a metal detector.
He's doing my bit. This is good. No, this is good. This is yes-anding.
It's not a metal detector. It's a translucent tape detector.
Exactly.
Is what it is, actually.
Yeah, because translucent tape is dangerous. And, I mean, I've seen people get seriously injured because they think it's funny.
We've seen the horrible effects of translucent tape.
Themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
When in reality, all putting translucent tape on does is make you more visible.
Yeah, they're like, oh, look at me. I'm like Harry Potter
opaque.
and I'm invisible. It's like, no, you're more opaque now.
You're more opaque.
Yeah, way to go.
You're a little opaque right now.
Yeah, you used to be opaque, and now you're opaque.
All right, let's horoscope.
Let's horoscope. Yes, Garfield is. I'm summoning. He's speaking to me now. I feel him. I feel. Do you feel Garfield in this Chili's today?
I thought we were in an Applebee's. I only brought my Applebee's gift card.
Oh, what? Well, I didn't bring my wallet, Derek. I don't know what you want me to do, but I don't.
I have to offer favors.
What
would you
favors
like me to
exactly?
Help you move next weekend, waiter?
No, please, sir, I don't have any money. No, I won't wash dishes for you in order to pay for the meal. How's about you look like you're. Are you moving?
Are you moving?
Are you moving soon? Do you want to move soon?
Do you want me to go wash your car? That's all I meant.
I'll vacuum.
I don't know what you thought I meant, but that's all I meant.
Nothing else. No,
hey,
I didn't think of anything else.
We struck the jackpot with this Garfield horoscope.
Garfield is with us today.
2 characters.
March 10th here. Yeah, there's only 2 characters.
There's only 2 of us.
So what do you
roll dice.
What are you thinking? No, hold on. I got something better. Hang tight.
I'm hanging on a pedestal and I'm flipping a coin.
Okay.
Flipping a coin.
So we're gonna flip a coin. So Derek, no, you shut up. Can't call it right as it goes. Okay, you pick heads or tails.
Heads.
Heads. Okay. If you get heads, I don't know how to do this.
Heads.
Okay, you win. Who do you want to be?
Oh shit! I didn't want to pick.
Then you don't. If you're the winner, do you want me to pick?
I'm gonna look without. I'm gonna get out that Garfield.
Garfield. Okay.
Garfield's usually an asshole, and I like doing John, but I'll do Garfield.
I feel like like they kind of they change every time. Yeah. Who's the asshole and who's not? They're a perfect couple.
All right, what's happening?
All right, so in this week's episode, or this week's Garfield Horror-scope, we've got a situation with
10th, 2024.
March 10th, 2024. John picks a phone call, and we will tell you exactly what happens in this phone call as it progresses. So are you Garfield in this instance?
Yeah.
All right. So in this instance, I'm John. I get a phone call, really bothered about, I'm not interested in a timeshare condominium, I don't appreciate being bothered by these annoying telemarketing calls. But then they offer to make me super buff, super ripped. And now I'm interested in this. So how do we turn that? How do we bullshit this?
How do we bullshit
this? Bullshit this one?
This one's a little stuck.
This one's a little literally direct. How can you change? No, we're working in this. It's jazz, baby.
I got Garfield. I'm ready.
We got this. Okay. So what happens is, things come up in your life and you think you know all about it, right? You think you see it for what it is. You come at face value. Stick around, listen to a little bit. Don't hang up on that phone call in your life, whatever it is. Maybe it's literally a phone call, maybe not. Something is bugging you and it keeps coming up in your life. I feel like I have that happen often, where I see something continuously comes up to a point where I'm like, let's check this thing out. Maybe something good can come out of it. And sometimes it does. Sometimes you find a good movie, a TV show, a new song, whatever, a video game, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So keep your eye out for something that may have been like in your peripheral, and maybe pay close attention to that. You could get super ripped, could get super hard body. And that's John's Garfield horoscope this week.
And
tell me about Garfield in this situation, who's sitting right next to him the whole phone call.
Garfield's the only one who knows what's going on. Garfield knows John is being swindled here.
I'm not kidding when he has the same exact drawing for every panel of this 7-panel comic.
Yeah. So he, at the end, is like, John, what are you doing? What Garfield's really saying here is, let's sit down and remove those rose-tinted glasses from your eyes.
Okay.
Because you're looking at life in a way that makes anything that would spark joy to you change the course of your life.
Yep.
Okay. He's looking at getting a timeshare, and, he doesn't want one, but then as soon as he's like, oh, well, I could get strong because there's like a gym or something, he has now put back on those rose-tinted glasses, and he's like, okay, everything looks beautiful now.
It's a little naive
incredible.
Of him, right?
He's being incredibly naive, and Garfield is seeing the truth. So what Garfield is telling us today on March 10th of 2024 is see through those glasses.
Yeah.
Take them off.
Set them down.
See everything for all of the perspectives. Don't just jump into something. Beetle, deedle, beetle.
Beetle, deedle, deedle, beetle.
Beetle, beetle, beetle. Is apparently how phones ring in the Garfield
Beetle,
world.
beetle, beetle.
Beetle, beetle, beetle.
And that is in your Garfield horoscope.
No, that actually makes sense
this week. Okay, so that's the phone that says, "Oh, it's time for us to talk about this movie."
Hey, look at that! This movie, The Incredible Melting Man, was from 1977. It's rated R. It is an hour and 26 minutes. I pick and choose when I do this. An astronaut is transformed into a murderous, gelatinous mass after returning home from an ill-fated space voyage. I love that.
That's
I don't know why. That makes me want to watch the movie.
That's pretty good because I feel like often a lot of the synopses. Oh God, synopsis. Synopses. They often give way too much of the movie, or they're completely off. Where it's like, this is not even close to what this movie is actually about. Like, you've kind of missed the point here.
Yeah, but that one's pretty straight to the point.
Short to the point, and intrigues me enough. I'm like, you know what? I will check this out. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So let's talk about William Sachs for a second. William Sachs was the writer and director of this movie, and we've talked about him on this podcast before. Yes.
Nuh-uh.
Because,
Nuh-uh, we haven't. No, we haven't. Nuh-uh, Derek. I remember everything.
You remember all 56 different conversations about different characters?
Fallible recall, and
Fallible is a fun word.
No,
do you want to know?
Yeah, tell me about it. I sincerely
do not remember. Will you really quick look up the movie Spooky House from 2001?
Spooky House? Yeah, tell me about him, and I'll look up Spooky House.
So he has written and directed about 10 things. He was also pretty heavily involved in Leprechaun, which is why we've talked about him before.
Leprechaun?
Yeah, remember Leprechaun? He was a main producer for the Leprechaun movie.
Really?
Yeah.
That's whack.
So anyway, we haven't actually talked about him that much. It was mainly just
Were you wanting to know about Spooky House to know if it was low enough for this podcast?
I was.
It is not. It is at a 47%.
See,
I know.
This last week you heard the great part of our lives when we find one that fits, and this week you hear the shitty part of our lives when one doesn't fit.
You could say it is only an audience rating of 40%. To Tomato Meter, actually, no one has touched this. They have a whopping 2 reviews for that one.
Oh man. I mean, it just sounded funny, and it has Ben Kingsley in it, so I was like, oh, that sounds funny.
I would see it for him. It looks like a made for Disney Channel kind of horror movie.
So he really hasn't done a lot of big stuff, though.
Yeah.
Incredible Melting Man was kind of his biggest hit, and it wasn't that.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't it.
It wasn't that. Was not necessarily a hit, I would say.
No, it was not. So The Incredible Melting Man has a 7% on Rotten Tomatoes with an audience score of 24. Letterboxd is at 2.7. IMDb is at 4.2. The budget for this movie was $250K, but I couldn't really find any gross on it. It was just kind of gross.
I would assume it did not make a lot. Just personally, me, Isaac here, I don't think it made that much money.
No, I don't think it did either. And from what I understand, it was pretty quickly taken out of theaters and just released later in life.
Yikes.
So...
Yeah, no, I feel like that happens even these days. When a new, especially horror movie comes out and it's not particularly great, it only shows in theaters for like a week, and then you can't watch it for your podcast. You have to find another time to go and watch it.
Almost like that is literally happening to us right now.
Almost like it's happening exactly to us
Imaginary.
right now. Imaginary, exactly. Guys, Imaginary, new horror movie coming out, or actually just barely came out. Yeah, not doing great. The Rotten Tomatoes review is low enough for this podcast,
but we physically can't go see it.
We don't have the time to go check it out.
Leave the theaters.
So we will watch it at some point for you for this podcast. I don't know when that is going to be.
Kind of sad though.
Yeah, I like seeing movies in the theaters. I really do.
So I don't know how much Country is going to talk about this movie, but this movie's garnered a lot of attention in other media. So it has been in oh my gosh.
I mean, like Mystery Science Theater 3000 for sure. Yeah. It's like one of the big hits.
Yeah, Mystery Science Theater. It was also featured in It Came from Hollywood.
Whoa.
It also has some references in RoboCop.
Yes,
which is pretty awesome. And
that's specifically because I didn't put this in the trivia actually at the very end. Count Trivia didn't. One of the people who helped out on the makeup effects with Rick Baker actually went on to do the effects in RoboCop, and so that's why there is a pretty much literally melting man who gets hit by a car.
It's like shot for shot.
It's so good. It is such a fantastic effect. I love it so much.
It's so good.
Go watch RoboCop. It's great.
Anyway, and this was also, it was very much influenced by other movies too, like The Night of the Living Dead, Cinefantastique, First Man into Space, The Quatermass Experiment. So lots of things went into his writing of this movie.
Lots went into this. It was not a simple idea.
Which shocks me.
Shocks me a little bit.
Literally shocks me.
He was zapped with his rectal Tesla coil.
You know something else that shocked me is Michael. No. The music score was created by Arlon Ober, who was the London Philharmonic Orchestra conductor at the time.
Interesting.
Why?
I mean, the music did kind of stick out to me. I was like, I'm enjoying this music.
It was there.
I felt like often throughout the film it did not fit incredibly well.
No, it didn't.
No, yeah, but I think the music was good. It's just like, was it the best choice for like the specific scenes that it was in? There were a lot of times where I'm like, why is this the music choice they went with? It's not bad, but not right either. You know what I mean?
No, but like a lot of people have gone on to mention like how much of this movie was based on other things, like Victor Frankenstein, obviously, and Belleville Intelligencer is a guy who is a big fan of this movie. Okay, no. I'm just reading shit now. Let's go to Rotten Tomatoes.
Let's talk about the reviews on this one for Rotten Tomatoes. So let's see. So we said it's at 7% critics, 24 audience rating. Let's dig into some of these things here. Let's see. Matt Brunson from Film Frenzy says, quote from the movie, "Oh my God, it's his ear." And so it goes with The Incredible Melting Man, a piece of sci-fi cheese so pungent that it is honored with its very own Mystery Science Theater 3000
Honestly,
episode.
it is an honor.
It really though. I would love to make a movie that got honored in that way.
It's like it's one of those things that's like you make a B movie and then you make a Mystery Science Theater 3000 B movie.
Yes,
and it's like a whole.
It's its own
level.
Category, right?
Yeah. Tom Buckley of the New York Nimes.
Say that 9 times fast.
New York, unique New York. Have you ever done that? So there's a musical theater warm up that you do every once in a while. That's
unique New York,
unique New York, unique New York. You know you need unique New York. I can't even do it slow. New York, unique New York.
New York, unique. Unique, New York.
New York, unique. And it's like all about like using your diction. And I'm pretty good at my diction. So like, I'm pretty good.
I'm pretty good at my diction.
That's comedy, baby. That's comedy.
That's comedy.
So I can't even say it. Unique New York.
When unique, New York.
When unique, New York.
New York.
God damn
if
it.
Unique, New York.
New Yeek. I can't even
It's not
physically
even
come into
words
my
anymore.
mouth. Unique New York. You know you need
Unique New York. Oh, you're so close.
One of these days. Okay, I'm actually upset.
Why do they call it oven? When you in the cold food, out hot, eat the food.
How have we never talked about that? That's like my favorite Garfield bit of all time.
That's a hilarious bit. That's definitely not a real Garfield comic because somebody made that on the internet and I love it so much. But like there was a while where like I would say that to Derek and he would always try to get it back to me and would mess up like a single word in it. That used to be your tongue twister.
It's and now it's Unique New York.
God, Unique New York.
Unique
New York.
Why do they call it Unique New York?
When Unique New York,
the cold food.
Cold food.
Unique New York. Okay, Tom Buckley of Unique New York Times.
God, that's how we got here.
It says, with a negative review, each spring brings similar releases to fill the need of drive-in operators for something cheap to put on the screen for the kids in the cars to ignore or laugh at.
Oof, big one. I got Mike McGranagan. McGranagan.
Okay, listen, we can't both have
Mike McGranagan.
We can't both have tongue twister names.
From Film Racket with a rotten review says, everything in the movie is corny, cheesy, bad, or some combination thereof. I'd call the performance wooden, but that would be an insult to wood.
Holy shit.
That's pretty, like,
that was
Mike McGranagan coming at it. Like,
spitting bars.
If you're making a movie, watch out for Mike McGranagan.
Unique New York over here. So, John Bifus.
John Bifus. Tell me about John Bifus.
Commercial appear from Memphis, Tennessee. Easy name.
Yeah, easy. Crush that one.
Crushed it. With 2.5 out of 4, it says, the movie almost begs for Batman-style sound effects captions, but provided by Don Martin, fucking God.
You fucked it up. We almost had it.
Unique
New York.
Skloskotty.
Oh, God.
Oh, I get what he's saying, but provided by Don Martin. Skloskotty. When the melting man leaves the gluey footprints, ploit, when his eyeball plops onto the ground. I should have read that one before.
I was going to say, you picked the one that had all these fucked made-up words in it, talking about tongue twister.
Anywho.
So let's cover our expectations, shall we?
Yeah, let's maybe do that.
All right, let's do that. So generally, my expectation for this one is, I said, we might be in for a fun, campy time. Not necessarily like a really good movie, but very campy horror from the 70s, right? I think it might be a fun time. What about you?
My general expectation was just wild time.
Wild time.
It's going to be a wild time.
Wild time.
And I guess I guess I could elaborate on that. It's more of like
no, just leave it there.
Oh, okay.
No, just what you
got. That was me elaborating.
Oh, that's what?
I don't know. I'm in a goof. I'm in a goof. I'm always in a goofy mood.
You thought we were in a movie. We took that. We made it a goofy movie.
I saw you going there.
First expectation. I said this movie belongs in a discount drive-in movie theater. That is the vibe that I got, which is kind of funny that your review mentioned that.
Yeah.
Because this is the kind of movie that I could very much see you going with, with a cute date out on the town or with a couple of buddies and a couple of beers. You come and see this movie to either watch and mock it or, make out.
Yeah.
Maybe make out.
Maybe make out.
Not pay attention
because
to it.
nothing is more attractive than watching a man melt. I love watching men melt.
That gets me more in the mood for making out than when I watch the melt man.
Oh, yummy, yummy.
The melting man can.
Imagine eating an ice cream cone.
The melting
and you're making
man
out
can,
with someone.
Because he looks like jelly and
jelly
bad stuff. It makes the world taste goo. That's it. That's the one.
Imagine for yourself, you're at a diner in the 90s. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. That was a bit. No, imagine yourself.
I feel like that's like my code word that brings me into like my secret agent mode. I'm like, yeah, exactly. You're in a diner in a different, but you said the 90s, so we're fine.
Yeah. We won't mention the.
We don't do any other decades. Okay, we're a 50s diner place. All right. Oh no.
Hey, buddy.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding.
Imagine you're in a diner in the 1950s and they talk about their expectations. Here we go. What's your first expectation?
Well, I was actually going somewhere with that. So imagine you're in the drive-in movie theater, though, in like the 78s.
In the 70-aughts.
After this movie came out.
Jesus.
And you just got yourself a nice soft serve. You know, you're eating it from your cone. You're lapping it up.
Mm-hmm.
Then your girl's like, hey, boy, I want to lick some of that cone. And you're like, okay, sick. And so you like start licking.
Yeah, if a girl says, all right, sick. Yeah, cool. I'm like way into that.
Yeah, it's super dope. So you guys are both like licking the ice cream cone at the same time.
Together.
As is one to do.
As you are wont to do with a girl when she says she wants that from you.
Hey, yo, I want to lick your cone.
Where are you going with this?
Just that when he was melting, he looked like melted ice cream. And like you would be licking the ice cream cone and then look up at the screen. And
promptly throw your ice cream out the window. Right?
Or keep licking it. It depends on your prerogative.
It depends on you a sicko or not.
First expectation, that bit went literally nowhere. Effects are going to kick ass.
And
that was just based on the trailer, man. I didn't even know it was Rick Baker.
I was going to say, I don't think at that point you knew Rick Baker was a part of it.
So it was definitely like watching the trailer. I was like, okay, hold on.
All right, now
these effects might carry this movie.
These effects might get it. These effects might get me. But my second expectation says awful sound editing, because there's one clip specifically in the trailer where some guy is trying to talk and give some important information, but he's just like, there's just loud machinery over everything that he says. So I'm like, I feel like that's probably going to be a continuous thing throughout the movie.
It's got to be. The dialogue is going to be hilarious.
Oh, absolutely.
I was already laughing at the dialogue of the trailer, which I mean, even good movies, sometimes I giggle at dialogue, which I don't know why. What's wrong with me?
Let's
have a dialogue.
What's your problem here? Let's have a dialogue.
That's a reference to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein,
dialogue.
Page 80. I'm just kidding.
Page 80. I can pull it out right now.
It's like half true. I really want to know what's on page 80 of Frankenstein. Will you say your next expectation?
It's somewhere in this house. I know I have a copy of Frankenstein for sure.
I think I've bought Emily like 8 copies.
There's a lot of Frankenstein in this house. My next expectation was just nasty, goopy man, going along with your ice cream cone conversation there, where it's like he just looked disgusting, and I don't know how much else he's going to do. I don't know how much a goopy man can do, because it's not a movie like The Blob or something like that, right? He is not a gelatinous form of man. He is a man that is, I suppose, continuously melting, which kind of intrigued me, because it's like, okay, he is a melting man, not a melted man. So like, is he going to disappear by the end of this movie? Is he going to cease to be? Is he regenerating more goop to get rid of?
I mean, it's like he said in the trailer, he gets stronger as he melts more.
He gets stronger as he melts. It's just like Garfield. He gets bigger.
Why does the poster for Garfield say that?
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about that. We saw a poster for the new Garfield movie coming out, and the only caption, like the tagline on that movie, or the poster just says, he gets bigger. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Like, I get that they used a picture of, like, baby Garfield, but, like, I assume, yeah, of course a baby grows. What are you talking about? What do you mean he gets bigger?
I don't know, man.
But now I kind of want to see, like, a kaiju-style movie. Let's take the latest, like, you know, Godzilla -1.
Oh, my God. Versus Garfield?
Godzilla -1.
Godzilla X Garfield?
Godzilla X Garfield. Yeah, it's the third in the MonsterVerse with Godzilla X Kong. Godzilla X Kong X Garfield. Don't look that up, though. You'll probably get some gross stuff on the internet.
I looked up a version of Frankenstein. Page 80.
What's it got? Anything interesting?
It's not what I wanted it to be, but it's so good. When I found so astonishing a power placed within my hands, I hesitated a long time concerning the manner in which I should employ it, although I possess the capacity of bestowing animation. Anyway, it's like him imagining creating Frankenstein.
Oh, cool. You got like in the creation scene. That's pretty good, actually.
So fucking good. Mary Shelley.
Thank you, Mary Shelley. Kudos to you.
Why do they call it oven?
Chef's kiss. What's your next one?
Do you think... Never mind. I can't tangent again. The story will be hard to follow was my next one. Because
okay.
The trailer really was not given a whole lot of story.
But I kind of appreciated that, just because I feel like most trailers are wont to like destroy any spoiler anything for this.
I actually read
movie.
something about that.
Oh, yeah?
Do you have a trivia about that?
No, I don't.
They specifically, when they created for the trailer for this movie, since they were planning on the Melting Man being a new horror creature, right? I know it's silly, but like that was like their whole intention.
So they were just like throwing words out there.
They specifically designed the trailer for this movie to not show the creature.
Which I think should be
great.
the case, right?
That should be normal.
I love seeing something like that, and like especially, I don't know. I feel like these days we get multiple trailers released, so it's like here's the first trailer. Like they usually come in like threes, right? And by the third trailer, you get to see more. I love the thought of just having the one trailer for something, and it does not show you everything. Like give me a reason to go into the theater, intrigue me enough.
Give me a reason to go into the theater and to watch a movie that is really scary. I'll be scared again.
So my next expectation was despicable acting, just pitiful. Just put a pin right.
Just put a pin.
I said despicable acting, just terrible, just bad all around. Right? What was your next one? That's all I got for that one.
The fun 70s music. I was really looking forward to that. I was expecting like some like synth stuff, some weird goopy stuff. I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. And then my last expectation just said, I'm scared of how much we can make fun of it. Because it seemed like one of those ones where I don't know if the movie's going to be that great, but I think we will make it great ourselves, being very funny guys.
I'm funny guys. Mine was actually almost the exact same. It's going to be one hell of a time to watch because I was figuring we were either going to be bored out of our mind or making fun of it the whole time.
And I think either way it shakes out, there's something that we can do about it. All right, are we ready to blast off?
9.
Hold on, I didn't.
8.
Hold
7,
on. Did you have a spare? Derek, you put on your spacesuit. I'm not ready.
5,
I don't have a spacesuit.
5.
I'm freaking out.
5.
I'm losing. I'm already
4,
losing the air that I have in here.
3.
Oh man.
2.
Oh geez.
We have liftoff to planet Saturn. Liftoff on Scorpio 5. Saturn clear. Roger. Roger. Up Scorpio 5 to Houston control. Good at 40 seconds. Whoa, that was good. That was so good. That like gave me chills. That beep.
That's it.
Wait, how did you?
We're up in it. We're up in it. Okay, so I literally it says the title for the movie, and I just said, "What's so incredible about it?
Yeah,
what makes this guy so incredible?" But then we saw the title there. We saw the credit that said special effects and makeup by Rick Baker, and I said, "Okay, maybe that's what makes him incredible." But now we're space. The final. I'm not allowed to say it anymore. We got 70s astronauts, folks.
Oh my God.
And by 70s astronauts, I just mean like 80% of them have big old mustaches. It's
well,
70%. 70. Hold on, Derek. We're up in space right now. Who's that out the window? Hey, Derek, it's me. I liked your joke.
Oh, thanks. Hey, it's Science Jim. He's hanging on your arm.
Yeah, I know.
He's a little fucked up.
I may have taken the oxygen from his suit. And that's the only reason I'm alive right now.
He doesn't need it to survive.
What do you mean you don't need air? What are you doing? You're hogging?
He is made of fabric.
You still have all the... Give me the rest of your air. Can I give it?
Shove your hand up him real quick.
Okay, here we go.
Oh my God, being out here with this guy is awful. Please take me home.
All right.
I'm so tired.
Can we hitch a ride back with you?
Hitch a ride.
Little Borderlands reference for you. Okay, let's move on.
So it's been like 5 minutes of the astronauts just kind of like talking, and I don't understand what they're trying to do. Like, did you understand what was happening in this first scene?
Yeah, okay, but only because I spent a long time trying to do the research on this part.
Yeah.
So basically what they're trying to do is land on Saturn. So they're trying to navigate through the rings of Saturn to get onto Saturn.
And the only reason I even knew that it was Saturn was because one of the guys like, there's nothing so... you want to... Sorry, you can say.
It's like the best line in the whole movie.
Yeah, please. No, this line is what made me go, oh, okay, so something to do with Saturn.
Magnificent. You've never seen anything until you've seen the sun through the rings of Saturn.
Yep, that's the one. That's it.
I had to say it like him.
That's exactly how they said
exactly how he said it.
So then something bad happens. They were near the rings of Saturn, and we get to see like this solar flare and what looks just like the sun, not even actually Saturn. And the next thing we know, we see a man with a mustache start bleeding from his nose, and it's like, okay, something bad happened, I guess. I'm not really sure. They show a shot of like a solar flare from the planet. I don't really understand what was going on here. It really didn't make a lot of sense to me. And maybe, I don't know, did maybe Science Jim knew something about this?
Oh my God, I'm here.
Oh, hey.
It's been so long. How are you guys?
Oh, dude.
I actually just passed by Saturn on my way here.
And?
It's beautiful.
Well, could you tell me anything about it?
But did you know that its rings are disappearing?
What?
Yeah,
they're just going away?
Yeah, they're going away.
What?
This
Where
is
are they
something
going?
In 1980 it was discovered, which was right after this movie came out.
1980?
It was discovered that the rings are starting to disappear, but they'll come back.
Oh my God.
They'll come back.
1980 was 40 years ago.
Can I just address something real quick?
Yeah.
Here's some cards for Derek.
Do you want a high horse?
Big, 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 big. I started doing that in Science Jim's voice.
Big, big, big,
They're all
big, big,
mixing
big.
together.
Big conglomeration.
I'm gonna give him the cards though. I don't want to talk this whole time.
All right, but yeah, you got a lot of, you've been in space for a while. It's time to breathe. Rest.
So fun fact about Saturn, just like Jupiter, it actually radiates more energy than the sun.
Oh.
So
yeah,
it radiates about 2 to 3 times more energy than not more than than the sun.
Mm-hmm.
It radiates more than it receives from the sun.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
so it like reflects it back like kind of like a big mirror.
Interesting.
Right? It's kind of crazy. So essentially what happens here is they get caught in one of the belts and the radiation that is getting projected from Saturn.
I'm learning so much more than this movie gave me.
Okay, so that is apparently what happened in the movie, and then
How are we to know?
Somehow back on Earth and fine.
Yeah, literally the next scene, it's like, okay, he got like incredibly radiated, like he's in fucking Fallout or something, and now he's in a hospital.
Can I just do a couple more little facts about Saturn?
Please tell me more about Saturn.
It's actually terrifying, this thing that I found out. So
Scary.
The emissions that are coming from Saturn are so strong that they actually like mess with our radio frequencies.
What?
And there are some radio
here on
frequencies
Earth
in like the space station.
Okay, yeah.
And there are some frequencies you can hear from Saturn. I looked it up on YouTube and listened to it. I'm not going to sleep.
No.
I'm not going to sleep for a while.
That reminds me of when I was younger and I learned about Cthulhu, and they're like, here's the sound of Cthulhu sleeping in the ocean.
Yeah.
It's just like the sound, like the ominous, like white noise of the ocean with these like bloop, bloop. And like, that's Cthulhu in there for real.
I would show it to you, but it's not good. Well,
it's not good radio.
It's not good radio. It's terrifying. Just go
also
type
scary.
in. Just go type into, if you want to get a little freaked out. Go type into YouTube Saturn radio signals.
I'm going to advise you, Mom, don't look this up. You're scared of space enough as it is.
Well, and I think the scariest. I was talking about it with Emily. I was like, why am I so scared of this? It's literally just like a.
I don't like hearing it.
Like
though.
yeah.
There's no sound in space.
And I was like, would I be better? Would I feel better if I just heard a hello? like I just hello.
Hold on, play that back. Ooh.
Hello.
Okay, no, I swear it sounds like hello, right? I'm telling you,
it's there.
Next week on Ghost Adventures.
Anyway, so basically, the ship that he was in would have been completely incinerated, though. Also, they're trying.
There's no way you could have survived.
They're trying to get onto the surface of Saturn.
I was going to ask you that. Like, can you even exist on close enough to Saturn to do that shit? Because there's no way. It's not a planet like Earth.
No,
is.
It's a gas giant, so it is literally made up of gas and rocks and stuff. Like, there's no way to stand on the surface of Saturn.
No, especially
also the temperature
not in the 70s. Come
is
on.
like, yeah, come back.
The technology wasn't there.
And I mean, maybe they didn't know in 1977 that was the case, but I feel like they knew a good amount.
I think they knew at least that much.
If they knew that it was like emitting radiation, they knew something.
Yeah, exactly.
Idiots.
Stupid.
Just kidding.
Idiots.
Just kidding.
So our main guy, his name is Steve, the guy who had like the bloody nose on the spacecraft. It's just he's in a hospital now, which is weird because he was irradiated and he's not covered in anything to protect himself or people from him.
No, man,
right?
He's literally just covered in bandages.
They literally like put a Geiger counter over him, and it's like.
I've seen Chernobyl, man. I know what happened to those people. That
you could not just put them in a bed and be like, "Oh, he's fine." And they cover him up in bandages because his skin's looking kind of nasty.
Can't mess with that stuff.
No. So he's the only one that survived, but they kind of want to keep it a secret. They're like, we can't let this out that he went up there and he survived. You know, the radiation of Saturn, I guess. And so the doctor, the nurse leave the room, and he looks at his hands because his face is all bandaged up right now. Looks at his hands; they are nasty. They are real nasty.
So you know how I'm using auto-generated? Can I just read this? It's funny to me. I'm sorry if it's not funny to anybody else.
Because the auto-generated captions, especially on things like YouTube or stuff where these usually are, they have to notate when music is being played, right?
Yeah, so you've got, I better call Ted Nelson. Check his vital signs every 15 minutes. Replace the IV with units of whole blood. Yes, sir. I'll send for an ordering. No, get it yourself. It's imperative that this keep secret. Yes. Music, sir. Music. He. Music. He. Music. Wow. Music. Oh, I. Applause. Music. I. Music. Applause. Music. Applause. All right. Get it when you got over. Music.
God bless you, stupid auto captioning.
This is really fun. I just really like the he music.
This is why we can never allow AI to be in charge of anything. Oh God! But his hands look nasty. Like way to go, Rick Baker.
Gnarly.
And he rips off the bandages, and his face is all nasty and gross. It is melting away. It looks disgusting, and I love it. But this is just like stage 1 of how bad he looks for the rest of the movie. So then the nurse comes in, sees him, drops what she's holding, and then starts to run away from him in slow motion as he's chasing her away.
Oh my God.
I don't know why he just immediately went aggro on this nurse. I don't know why she. Well, I guess I know why she ran away. He was scary. But why is he suddenly like giving chase to this woman?
There was so much wrong with this scene that she's running down this crazy huge hallway in the middle of nowhere for like 5 minutes, and he's not even behind her.
He's not even there. You'd imagine you get you'd see him in the distance kind of shambling towards her. Nope, he's not even in the hallway. She's running alone.
And then she breaks through the door, the glass door.
Yeah,
when
she runs
could have
through
just
a glass
opened it.
door.
She could have just opened it.
Could have just opened
Take
the
a
door.
second.
Yeah.
You know, you're
But
already bloody for some reason.
But it's slow motion, so you got to be breaking shit because it looks a lot cooler.
It looks so dope.
So after that happens, we don't actually see this woman die. She just she runs through a glass door, but survives like pretty okay.
Yeah, but she's dead.
Yeah, I guess she dies somewhere within there. So now we see a doctor looking at another irradiated astronaut. I actually really liked this shot. We get this really cool shot of this dude who's laying on a table. I assume he's another one of the astronauts, but what you see is like probably one of the best shots in this movie is when the camera pans to like kind of over the top of his head, and you can see half of his face is just like a chunk of it just gone.
Yeah.
You see his teeth exposed, like half of his skull is missing.
Freaking gnarly.
And they don't show all of it. And the way that they had exposed it was so cool. Really gnarly stuff, actually.
Yeah, it was pretty bonkers.
Yeah, so anyway, so this man is General Perry, I think is his name. He's calling these doctors to warn them they must find Steve, the melting man, before he gets too far. His name is Steve, guys.
I mean, he's just a guy.
He's just a dude.
He's just a guy.
He's just some dude. It's just Steve. That's my buddy Steve, the weird goopy guy.
I just love this conversation because they're like, General, what do you mean? It's about Steve. He escaped. How long ago? Oh, like 3.5 hours ago. Who knows?
Yeah. The characters, the writing for this movie really it leaves something to be desired. But so basically General Perry is like, you guys need to find him before he gets too far. The public can't know about this, right? And this Steve, the sticky man, is just gross and melty and nasty. We get a lot of like really cheesy monster POV shots, which are kind of funny. There are even some where you see like his hands, like almost like it's a video game, right? Like you see the hands of your character that you're playing as.
It felt like I was playing Doom.
Yes,
like the original Doom with the hand.
I thought it was really funny. Good. And the editing on this movie is just so whack. I can't even describe to you, but like the editing is kind of crazy.
There were a lot of shots throughout this movie of like framing that were actually really cool.
There were some good shots, just like the one I mentioned of the guy who's missing half of his head.
Yeah,
like,
it was really cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So Steve is approaching this man who's just like a random fisherman, just like at a creek. And like, it's not deep enough for him to be fishing. I don't know why he's trying to do this. But Steve simply puts his wet hand over the mouth of the fisherman and pulls him off screen to his death, we assume, right?
We assume.
And so the doctors, this is the scene where the machinery is way too loud for you to understand what they're saying.
This is so funny.
The two doctors, there's Dr. Nelson, I don't know the other one's name, but they discuss how Steve will need human cells to survive, right? Because I mentioned earlier how I'm like, he's melting. How is he regenerating it? I guess he needs human cells so that he does not completely deteriorate, right? I assume.
So I tried to write it down. We couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
I tried to get it in the subtitle script that I found.
Yeah.
But it's like, all of it just says like music and stuff because it's so hard to understand.
Yes.
But basically, yes, he's going to need human cells to live no matter what.
Yes, and that's why he's driven to kill, right? That's why he went aggro on that nurse.
Yes, but when we were watching the movie, I didn't realize that. You said it or something, and so I was like, oh, okay, I see. And then like when I was looking back through the script later, I was like, oh, right there.
They literally
said it, but it was so funny that it was covered up by like the machinery.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You couldn't find a better place to film
just
this.
super loud. Just like, Derek, do you have that scene in front of you?
Yeah, I do.
Will you just read it?
Okay, yeah. Here we go. Steve was a friend of ours. Poor guy. He must be going through hell. Now, I don't remember now. His mind is so completely decomposed that by now we have to do irrational moves except for occasional flashing. With no matter, he's going to need human cells to live.
Hey, Derek. We got to...
Music.
Music. You have to read it in the right tone, though. You know, it's not like music. It's like music. See, we're having a lot of fun here in the studio today.
We comedy.
We comedy. Did you know? So then the melting man throws a very good severed head into the creek that man was fishing in. This head looked incredible, actually. I really liked it.
I also loved the shot because so it's like a shot of a river, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he is standing over the river, but you don't see him. You just see his shadow.
Yes.
And kind of his hand throwing it in.
Yes.
And then it's just this ominous looming man standing over this river while his head just floats away.
Yes, exactly. So it's the severed head of that fisherman that he just barely killed, right?
Yeah.
After that happens, though, General Perry is on his way to get this melting man. He's basically public enemy number one to them. Back home, Dr. Nelson, who is one character we will follow for the rest of the movie,
unfortunately,
he's really concerned about not having crackers. His wife wants to know about Steve and where he is and why he's missing, but he asks 4 times. So did you get the crackers? We can't do this on the crackers. Please, Derek, elaborate to me what the fuck is going on with these crackers.
God, what are you gonna? Did you get some crackers? I told you yesterday we needed some crackers.
Oh, I forgot.
There's a pad right there. You could have written it down. I know you want to know about Steve, but we don't have any crackers. Anyway, he says it 3 more times.
He's just so concerned. It's really funny. He literally is kind of responsible for the fact that this man killed a nurse. We did find out she did die. Has escaped. He is a real big problem for them and their whatever they're working at. And his wife kind of wants to know more about that. And instead, he's like, "So we don't have any goddamn crackers? Where's crackers? Goddamn!
I don't have any crackers from a soup."
How am I supposed to eat soup? It's too wet. I need something dry.
How can you expect us to like this character if the first scene you give us is him yelling at his wife about crackers?
Yeah, it's just, and it does not go anywhere. She does not really feed into it that much, and it never comes back. I was thinking maybe it's a Chekhov's crackers kind of moment, but no.
Chekhov's crackers.
No, it's literally
stupid.
Nothing. It is so useless. But then we get many shots of the head continuing to float downstream through the creek, and it's kind of beautiful. I actually really like it. There's this one shot where I literally mentioned this and the what am I trying to say? The cinematographers, the director had to be really happy with the way that the head floated in the river, because there's one shot where they get it and it starts and it completely rotates so that it is perfectly facing towards the camera. And I was like, that's pretty good actually. I like they have to be. Oh, he has to be happy with that one. That's beautiful.
Oh, that was very good.
Oh, that's one. Yes.
I got 3 more heads. You want to do another take? Nope.
That's it.
Put those in the freezer.
The good one. We'll save them for next year.
What do you want me to do with the rest of their bodies?
So, we get that, but then the head falls off of a waterfall and then shatters on a rock down at the very bottom of it, just completely exploding, sending brain bits all over the place.
It was one of those moments where you're like, that wouldn't really happen that way, but I don't mind because it was so fun to watch.
Yeah, no, Rick Baker had made that one. He literally basically made a shell skull with the what am I trying to say? The molding of the face around it, and then just filled it with a bunch of gut work inside the cranium there, so that when it fell down, it just completely practical, just split wide open. I really liked that effect. Now we're watching The Little Rascals, though.
Oh, it was Charlie Brown.
Yeah, Little Rascals, Little Charlie Brown Rascals.
Little Brown Rascals. Well, I don't think you can say that.
No. So they keep setting up such quick plot lines that end as fast as they get here, right? So now we see these 3 kids that are playing hide and seek in the woods, and they find some sticky residue on the trees because that's where the melting man has been, right? As is one to do. They sound like Charlie Brown characters, the way that they literally, if I close my eyes, I'm like, oh, I'm watching Peanuts right now. So the melting man lurks around in the foliage of the forest, and then he reveals himself to the little girl, and she runs away. Obviously, he's terrifying.
Mommy, help, it's Frankenstein,
and
it's Frankenstein.
We see a real nice shot of this goopy melting man. His eyeball limply falls out of his face.
That was so gnarly.
Yeah, he does look like he's covered in ketchup a little bit, though. But
ketchup and icing for your cinnamon rolls.
Absolutely. So Dr. Nelson is just walking through a field with a Geiger counter looking for Steve.
Oh my God. So this is just a section of what he says to himself off camera. And then we see him just walking, not saying these things.
Yeah. His mouth is not moving.
Steve, I want to help you. You can't survive out there by yourself. Come on back to the hospital. Steve, you can help others. We've got to find out what went wrong. Steve, oh no. Steve, it's me, Ted Nelson. Steve, I want to help you. Pop.
I don't know.
Oh God, it's his ear.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I missed something. What's up, Derek? You find something really good?
So, not on purpose. So the way that this script is there's no punctuation or anything because it's audio generated,
it's all
right?
run on sentences.
So it goes, Oh, God, it's his ear. Love it. Lovely, lovely. Oh, yeah. Fine, baby.
Oh, God, it's his ear. Love it. Lovely, lovely.
Fine, baby.
Oh, yeah, fine, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Ooh, yeah,
it's his
give
ear.
me big
Pop.
smile right
Music
there.
applause.
Okay, another. Oh,
yeah, jeez.
Now
you
I
figured
remember,
out why?
Now I remember why this is happening, and I like
too.
it less now.
Yeah, me too. But it was fun. It was a fun rift while it lasted.
Yes, but I don't understand if I missed something or like it seems like they're almost trying to set up that like Dr. Nelson was good friends with Steve. It doesn't seem like they knew each other at all.
No, it definitely seemed like this doctor was just brought in because he knows.
Exactly. But there's a plot point later on where it kind of seems like he's trying to like, reach that side of him. It's like, remember me, it's your buddy, Dr. Nelson. I don't think these characters know each other.
I did not ever get the impression they knew each other except for that line.
No. So the Dr. Nelson is following his trail of goop. He finds a goopy section of the melting man's head on like the side of a bush, and it is just his ear that was left on the bush.
His ear.
It was
Lovely,
his front
lovely.
ear.
Oh yeah. It was his final front ear.
It was his final front ear.
Oh my god. There it is. Name of the episode.
That's where it's coming. It's all connected.
We meant that. That was on purpose.
Full circle. You thought we were just saying stupid shit,
well,
but it made sense. We showed you. So now we meet more useless characters. We meet a creepy photographer.
We need to talk about this thing?
No, he was a creep. He was gross, and he's like taking pictures of this lady. He like tries to force her to take her top off. He was terrible.
Awful.
I hated him.
It literally made no sense.
No, it should not have existed. I really, really hated him.
Especially because they're gone after the scene and never come back.
No, exactly. So literally the point of it is like she refuses to take her top off. She's really standing up for herself, which I really did like. I'm like, yes,
yeah, she
tell
was
this
awesome.
dude off. What a creep. I hate him so much.
But he did not stop,
no,
which
exactly.
was awful.
So as she's like backing away from the dude, she backs into a rotting corpse of that fisherman from earlier who now has no head. And the corpse looks really gnarly. Like you can see it's exposed flesh and rib cage because I guess the melting man has been eating him, right? He needs to consume the flesh or whatever. But yeah, so I literally wrote she runs into the rotting corpse and screams, and I said that's probably the last we'll see of either of them because it kind of just is. So the general has landed. General Perry is here. Everyone rolls up to the scene of the murder. Doc Nelson, General Perry, creepy photographer is there who just keeps trying to take pictures of the dead body.
Don't forget those two random old people.
Just two old people who like they're in like the middle of it's not like they're on some kind of like trail or anything like that. They're just
there.
Just two.
It looked like they were helping.
Yeah, it's not like there was a car that they showed up in or anything. They just happened to be there for some reason.
Stupid.
So yeah, everybody rolls up there. The photographer's trying to take pictures of the dead body, and they're like, "Oh, get away from here!" And that's the last you see of him too. I'm like, what? What was the point of these two characters? They did not make any sense.
They were dumb.
So it is the body of the dead fisherman there, and I'm like, what are we doing here? What is happening? So Dr. Nelson is trying his best to cover up, and he's like, oh well, maybe it was a bear. Yeah, I think it was probably a bear. And then the sheriff is like, there's no bears in these parts of the woods.
You know
what
something,
are you talking
don't you?
Yes, it's totally just a bear, right? While all of this is happening, we just see like several shots of Steve just like traipsing through the woods, reliving the trauma of what happened in the spacecraft.
4, 3, 2,
he just keeps hearing astronaut chatter and countdowns as he walks in slow motion in front of the sunset, right? And now they're just replaying the exact scene from the beginning of the movie. And it's kind of annoying because no further information is given to us. It's just exactly what we see in the start of the movie.
Shutdown by 2:10. Entering rings. Roger. Recopy.
Derek, do you agree that like as great as the prosthetics look, Steve's melting look is not incredibly consistent?
It is so inconsistent, dude. Like there are times where it looks completely different, and I did find out why. Did Count Trivia find out why?
I read a little bit about it, but you tell me anyway.
Apparently, they had. Because of like how goopy it was, they had to reapply it every single scene.
Oh yeah,
like every single scene they had to cover him in more ketchup. Basically,
I just could not imagine being that guy. He looks like he's got magic shell dripping off of his
face. Don't put him in the fridge or it's never coming up. But also, like, apparently it was so much at the end of a day of shooting, he had to literally
like,
have it
peel it off of him.
Yeah, we read the
exactly.
same thing.
Yep,
it's
100%.
crazy.
So the men hunting Steve have really made zero progress. They're sitting there. They look so beat, even though they haven't done anything yet.
Okay, their way of searching for this man frustrates the hell out of me.
Yeah.
It's literally walking through some fields with nothing.
No.
And just Geiger countering and yelling. That's it.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
What does that do?
What are you doing?
You can't find lost people that way.
No.
Why are you looking for this man who somehow made it back to Earth?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Sorry,
No,
High
Derek,
Horse. I know I jumped on your pedestal.
Derek, I need to zoom forward because we're at my favorite scene in the movie. I cannot tell you how much joy the scene brings me. So Dr. Nelson's wife invites the general over for dinner and mentions that her parents are also coming over. And he's like, oh no, can't we do it another night? She's like, I can't. They're already on their way. Then we get just a riveting scene of the in-laws on their way over. The mom, like, the mother-in-law is really fun. She wants them to pull over to this lemon orchard to steal some lemons because that was the last shot that we saw of the melting man. He was in the middle of like this lemon orchard, right?
Oh, there's an orange grove. Let's steal some oranges. That would be a great gift. Hot oranges.
Because they're already late to dinner, and they're like, oh, should we stop and get them a gift or something like that? So she's like, oh, no, let's pull over and steal from this orchard.
Helen, those are lemons, not oranges. Oh, you're not fun anymore. Besides, lemon's better. I can make you a nice lemon meringue pie.
Oh
Would you like that, darling? All right, go steal your lemons.
So steal she wants, and steal they must, because these are just some Looney Tunes characters, I swear.
Oh, you fuddy-duddy.
Their dialogue is kooky and funny. I'm just like, why is any of this happening? I love these two old people.
They're fantastic.
So funny.
They're like kind of horny, too. Like
a little bit.
He's like, not while I'm driving,
not
Helen.
While I'm driving, Helen. Oh, I love them so much. But so they go into the orchard, and they walk past like 6 lemon trees before they stop to try to get some.
They really do. They like just start wandering off in a random direction past all of the lemons.
It's like, what's your goal here? What are you doing? You probably forgot. I don't know.
I think they're going in the middle of it.
And then
they're going to go fuck.
Then they get slowly chased away by a dog. I guess a guard dog for the lemon orchard, right? And I got really worried. The dog is okay. The dog is not in danger at all.
Yeah, but the best thing about this, they're scared. They're running away from this dog.
Oh,
Chivalry
is alive and well.
He goes and
in the
opens
70s.
Helen's door, puts her in the car, then goes around and gets in himself. What a ladies and gentlemen,
certified gentleman,
absolute knight.
God
King,
bless.
Whatever his name was.
He has been knighted. Howard, I think.
I think it was.
Sir Howard. Thank you.
Sir Howard, we toast you.
So back at the car, they see the melting man in the rear view mirror. Not Harold. A bird in this rear mirror. Harold, that's what it is. Harold Hill. He's going to bring music back to town, except he's not, because there's another musical reference.
There's trouble right here. Right here in Melton City.
That's pretty good. Oh, we got trouble right here in Melton City. Melton City.
Hey, tongue twisters are hard. No. New York. I can't say it.
So they see the melting man in the rearview mirror. Uh-oh. And then back home, Dr. Nelson is trying to calm down his wife poorly. He's not very good at it. He's a pretty shitty husband in all honesty.
He literally just says, take it easy, take it easy.
Yeah, so then cut back to them. We just see a shot of Steve the melting man just thrashing around inside the car, eating the in-laws, and he throws one of their arms out the window.
Silence for Harold and Helen.
And we're back.
I'll go down with this ship, and I won't put my hands up.
Music, applause, music, applause, music, them. Seems like been placed a couple times before. God, these auto-generated script is terrible.
It's like those images of what it's like to have a stroke, but in word form.
So we get another sequence of just basically the melting man walking around and looking sad, hearing the astronaut countdown again.
Astronauts report.
He looks like he's been covered in both peanut butter and jelly at the same time.
15,
So Dr. Nelson and General Perry are again out on the hunt for Steve, this time at night. But Steve made his way to the house without them knowing, and Judy, Dr. Nelson's wife, is home all alone. And it takes so long for him to finally break into this house. It's just long shots of the same things. It is the melting man standing outside of the house, and then Judy on the inside of the house looking scared. So Judy nervously surveys the house after she hears shattering glass, right? And it's like long, really tense scene, and then it was just like the cat that knocked down some milk off the counter, right?
Elsie.
Oh, the cat. I said that's the name. And
but then, there's like a good page and a half of just music, applause, music.
It's so much because it's just
Elsie.
It's literally just like long. It just takes too long for any of this to happen. I hated it. So then Dr. Nelson comes in scaring her, and so it was a pretty lame jump scare. And he is a lousy husband.
Take it easy.
So then he poorly consoles her again about her probably definitely dead mom. Then the town sheriff finds the in-laws' cars. It's not a pretty sight, right? And so every shot is like 3 times longer than it needs to be.
Oh, yeah. There's a shot of just the car for like a really long time.
Not even any people in the shot, just a shot of the car. And like I believe this movie could probably be 45 minutes long if you just like trim down every shot that's in it. So then the sheriff calls Dr. Nelson to tell him the grim news. And so what does he do, as any loving doctor husband would do? He sedates his wife.
Yep. Honey, I know you're worried. Here's some drugs. We'll put you down for a little while.
Unfortunately, it is like with her consent, right? She's into it. Yeah, she's fine.
But also, why?
Why would
this
you do
really
this?
bothered me?
He's been useless this whole time. I really don't know. And why does he think... So he's about to go on the hunt for the melting man again. Why does he think now he's going to be able to do anything? It's like, you killed my wife's parent, you killed my in-laws. Now I've got the power to come get you. I'm going to eat my spinach and come get you.
Popeye.
I don't know.
Hey, I guess you could say the Incredible Melting Man was Popeye.
Oh, because he had a Popeye.
Because his eye popped out.
Hey, Puny the Pun, I love that joke. I'm still a little wheezy, but I'll come up with some puns next week, but I'm still trying to catch my breath from being in space and all the final frontier.
I already made that joke, Puny.
What do you mean?
I already made that joke.
I wrote that down
stealing my joke.
I wrote that down like a week ago. You sure you didn't take my notes?
If you want to be my friend, you gotta roll with me.
All right.
If you want to be my homie, you got to get with my friends.
Homie, you got to get with my puns.
Melting
is too
forever.
easy. That's the way it runs. That's all I got.
That was pretty good.
This movie is just going in circles. Nothing new is happening. No. It's just a lot of the same bullshit over and over again. So Dr. Nelson is arguing with the sheriff at the scene of the crime, and it's a fairly pointless arguing scene, but the sheriff wants to know the truth, so Doc decides to tell him everything that's going on right now, if he keeps it a secret. And I'm like, at least now he'll actually have some power with him, right? Like, literally, the cop has a gun. So I'm like, at least you can do something about this melting man that you've been chasing for the entire movie.
Right.
Back at home, General Perry gets attacked by Steve, exclaiming, Steve! He literally opens the front door and gets attacked by the melting man.
That was in the trailer, and we all were trying to debate on what he yelled there because we didn't know his name was Steve.
It was just Steve.
It was just Steve.
So Doc and Sheriff show up at the house and find the dead General Perry, right? Just like chilling on the lawn, not even very maimed either. He looks pretty normal.
They also had this really pointless scene where he was eating a turkey leg, and they were freaking out over what this like fleshy thing was on the ground. And they're like, oh, it's just turkey.
It's just a turkey leg. Oh, Sheriff. What a funny...
Wish that I had been that turkey so I could be dead.
I guess you could say he got out of life cold turkey.
Wish we could cold cut this movie. Slow roast my way out of here.
Terrible. So now you thought we were done with getting more useless characters thrown into this movie. No. We get more useless characters. It's this couple, a guy and a girl who, like, I guess finished up a date. They go back to
completely forgot about this.
It's so useless, right?
Completely forgot about this.
They go back to the house and there's some goop on the doorknob. So the man goes into the house, right, to investigate. The girl shortly follows, finding that the house has just been ravaged. It's just covered in bloody goopiness all over the place. And she finds something in a room and then runs into panic. We don't actually get to see what she saw, and she calls the police. And so the melting man is like trying to bust down a door. She puts a refrigerator in front of it. He can't get through. She's like backing up against this wall. Then the melting man manages to get to a window and break in through it. But the girl chops off his arm with this cheap, like, prop butcher's knife, right, Derek? This thing looks terrible.
Because they picked up a real butcher's knife, and then in the next shot, it was like made out of cardboard. I swear to God.
Really, though, it looks really, really bad.
Hey, we could buy one of her fridges
for real. The Kelvinator,
$2,500 for a Kelvinator.
Derek, you're telling me a small price to pay for Kelvinator
because Kelvinators last forever. We actually, Emily's family cabin, I think has one of these Kelvinator.
No
fridges.
Joke.
Yeah. Also, this fridge could easily outlive the apocalypse. And the fact that this melting man couldn't push the door with it, and then Mr. What's-His-Face is about to come in here and move it no problem, really bothers me.
Which is really funny because this really bothered me, actually, how they keep talking throughout the movie about how, like, the more people he eats, the more he radiates, the stronger he becomes. He has done absolutely nothing to display any kind of strength whatsoever. I don't know why they think he's getting stronger. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Wait, what do you mean?
What do you mean he's getting stronger? He's not doing anything.
No, so anyway, so he gets out of there, and then the melting man walks the lonely road right down the train tracks straight towards a radiation plant. And I wrote, from radiation you have come and to radiation you shall return.
That's so funny. So good.
The doc and Doc Nelson and the sheriff catch up to him at the radiation plant and basically just give chase inside the radiation plant with gunfire. It's very obvious where the Steve actor is hiding his like missing arm.
Oh yeah, there are times you can like see his hand tucked into his pants,
just tucked like on the side of his body. Like they did not try to hide it very well at all because his arm got chopped off by that shitty butcher's knife, right?
That was cardboard.
So they give chase throughout the plant to some very ill-fitting music. This is one point where I'm like, this music is good, it just doesn't fit right here with what we're talking about.
Yeah, the music was fine. There's a reason we haven't brought it up though, because like most of the time it was just like, oh, why is this here? This is good, but it doesn't fit the vibe.
No. Also, the melting man always sounds like Darth Vader. It's like he didn't get his mouth melted shut or anything. He just always sounds like he's breathing like that.
But it was very obviously not coming from him. No. It was like recorded over the top.
So Steve made his way to the top of the building after a very long chase scene. We don't need to get into the details of that. And so is the sheriff, who's holding him at gunpoint, just starts blasting. So anyway, I stopped blasting.
Very good.
And so somehow Steve still gets the best of him, takes the police officer, the sheriff, throws him off the edge into some power lines. And this is the craziest effect of the movie. They just dump his like dummy body onto these electrical power lines, and he just basically turns into fireworks, just like electric fireworks.
It was bonkers.
It was
man.
kind of awesome, though. It was an incredible display out of nowhere. He just lights up the night sky, and he got crisped. It was a very long scene of just these crazy bright light sparks flying out of this dude's dead body.
It was good.
I actually really
liked that shot
it
a lot.
It was very fun. So then. Like, it's really funny to me because it's a very long shot of that, right? Of his dead body floating up there on the wires until he falls to the ground in a crisp, burnt to a sizzle. And then the melting man and Dr. Nelson both stop looking over the edge and he turns back to him, right? I'm like, okay, did both of you stop what you were doing to sit and look at this body? It makes sense for Dr. Nelson to look at it, but I like the fact that the melting man also was like, wow, that's really pretty.
That's really pretty. It's like you didn't expect it. Turn. 9, 8.
So anyway, so Steve knocks Dr. Nelson off the edge too with just one weak like
Steve, it's me. I want to help you. Steve, help.
So he's dangling there, begging for Steve to help him. It's
this is real. That's
what he says literally. And he's goopy. Why does he want his slippery radioactive help? I don't understand why he wants him to get him up here. But also, he's talking to Steve as if they have some kind of relationship, right? Some kind of friendship here. Like, you remember me? It's Dr. Nelson. But it doesn't really make sense.
He says Steve 22 times right here.
Lord, that tracks because it really felt that many times that they did that, right? So he does, I don't know, somehow he appeals to the softer side of the melting man. He does help him up off of it, right? So then what happens is that there are two security guards at the station that we haven't mentioned yet, who have also kind of been a part of the chase. These security guards don't know how to handle the situation. They just shoot both Dr. Nelson and the melting man. So now Dr. Nelson is dead, just shot for no reason. They think they shoot first, ask questions later. And so it does not kill the melting man. So he manages to kill these two guards with ease, and then he limply tries to leave the scene. So after walking to some random location, it's like daytime now because that whole scene was shot. That whole scene was shot at nighttime. He sits on the side of a building and just begins completely melting away to his death.
Yep.
And this is like the gnarliest, goopiest display of like the melting practical effects. You can hear the countdown yet again, which is kind of a sad ending for Steve, right? And his whole body implodes as he melts. It is so much goop
really
and so
cool.
much squelching. It's
It was
actually really cool.
pretty seamless too. Like there's one shot where you can really tell that his head is in there, and then all of a sudden it's just melting away. Pretty impressive.
I really liked it a lot, actually. The melting in that part was really, really impressive. And so it's like, cool. So I guess no resolution for anyone in this movie. Everyone was useless. Nothing happened in this movie.
And everybody died.
And I think that's kind of like an eerie mirror of the next thing that happens, because this whole scene happens. A man went up to space. It was kept under wraps so much so, and all of this stuff happened. He melts away into nothingness. Now the ending scene is just a few shots of like the dead bodies at the power plant in the daylight, and it's there's like this janitor there who is like who's coming to work the next day to sweep up the station. He's listening to a radio station saying that another team is now going to attempt to land on Saturn, right? So like no one has learned anything from the situation. So like, you are doomed to repeat this history. What a joke, right?
Okay, so Ted died, right?
Yes.
I'm reading what they say at the end. I'm just going to read this for you because it confused the fuck out of me.
Because this is like a radio broadcast that this one janitor is listening to. Mind you, this janitor does not seem that bothered about these dead bodies at all. He just starts cleaning up.
Yeah, and he just like gets different ways. arguably takes too long.
Yes.
But I mean, the rest of the movie did. So the dialogue goes as follows. In the never-ending challenge of space exploration, we should remember the last flight into space when astronauts Steve West, Marcia McManus, Michelle Wells paved the way for this extraordinary mission. It is unfortunate that they cannot be here today amidst all the excitement and joy at Cape Kennedy. They are still under observation at a mobile quarantine unit under the supervision of Dr. Theodore Nelson.
Yeah. So it seems like they're just trying to cover it up, maybe?
So they're just covering it up, but they're saying that he's still alive and all of them are like, actually okay?
Yeah, no, and that's probably why they're doing this whole mission again, which is funny because it literally just failed, and they're like, well, time to send more people up to Saturn.
Yeah, whatever. But, and then it ends.
Yeah,
with
so we get like
same exact
a countdown from 10, lift off, the cycle continues, the end, and that's
sequence 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Once again, man challenges the unknown, offering another example of his unquenchable desire for knowledge. Scorpio 7, the world awaits.
Dun, 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 dun. And that's the end of The Incredible Melting Man from 1977.
God.
Do we have a kill count for this one here?
14.
14. Wow. 14 deaths in this one. 15 kills. That's actually kind of a lot for one Melting Man who actually didn't do a lot in this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So shall we discuss our expectations and how they turned out for this movie? Let's do it. So my first expectation, I said this movie belongs in a discount drive-in movie. And this feels like the exact circumstances in which to enjoy this movie. I really feel like that's the best place to do this.
Licking an ice cream cone and looking over at Melted Man. That's the way to do it.
Yep, that's the way to do it.
Effects are going to kick ass. Yeah, dude. Even if every single effect was covered in ketchup, it was still great.
Yeah, I really liked it. I said awful sound editing, and the editing as a whole was a hot mess, but there was specifically just that one scene where that really loud machinery overpowered some mildly important dialogue.
Yeah, dude. The dialogue's going to be hilarious. Oh my God, so good. I mean, the crackers line alone
so funny.
Was worth the price of admission for this movie.
I said nasty, goopy man. We got Gooper's Paradise Part 2 because this Melting Man was incredibly gooped up.
Gooper was horny as hell.
Horned up.
Story
full masked the whole time.
Which isn't a lot for a goopy glob.
No, yeah. It's just
story,
like a mound.
Oh my God. Story will be hard to follow. Yes, but only because there was basically no story. And the editing to this movie was so fast and so slow all at the same time.
It was both of them, right? Like it passes through things way too fast and then sits on things for far longer than it needed to.
This was literally a 20-minute movie stretched out into an hour and 20 minutes.
Absolutely it was.
It should have been a short.
It could have been a short.
Jinx.
Jinx. Bilbo Bartender owes me a drink next week. I said
martini.
A martini. I said despicable, pitiful acting, and while the acting certainly wasn't great, it was pretty in line with the rest of this movie. More than the acting, I say this dialogue was just written horribly.
Yeah,
right?
The fun 70s music, it was wild. There was some good and then some real out of place.
A pretty mixed bag, a melting pot, if you will. And then I said, I'm scared of how much fun we can make of it. And I said, this is exactly what makes it an enjoyable movie at all, is how much fun you can have just poking fun at it, for sure.
For sure. It is going to be one hell of a time to watch. It was hell, and it truly took a long time.
Surprise! Let's talk about our surprises. For me, I said, I know it's called The Incredible Melting Man, but I was still surprised at just how slimy and melty Steve was. Every time I saw him, I really felt for the actor that was inside that slop suit. Like, that was a lot.
Yeah.
And this one, it was not necessarily a surprise because I know who was responsible for them, but the practical effects by Rick Baker lived up yet again. Really, really good stuff. Certainly a highlight for the movie, and I don't know how much I'd have liked it without his effects in it, honestly. The rotting corpses, the electrified cop, and that head in the river will stick with me. That half face from the beginning, really, really good stuff, and that I liked a lot. I was surprised by how long every scene was stretched out to fill the time. This movie would have been much more bearable if they just chopped down every unnecessarily long shot and didn't reuse the same scenes over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And my final surprise just said that old couple was my absolute favorite combo in the movie. I'm convinced they just found a couple with funny banter and just put them in the movie because they were a riot. I love that.
For me,
so sad they died.
Oh, I know. For me, that Rick Baker did the effects was such a big surprise, and it totally paid off throughout the movie. The absolute waste of time that this movie was. It was arguably 30 minutes of actual movie, and the rest was just a waste. Some cinematography was actually really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed some of the
shots
cinematography. Kind of shocked me. The lack of resolution.
For anybody?
And the fact that they just literally did not know what to do with these characters.
Nope.
Because they had a character character who was like kind of someone you couldn't go near, but they all wanted to go near him, but then they just never, like, it was stupid.
Like, do you guys understand how radiation works?
Exactly. For real, though.
Terrible.
The old couple as well.
Oh, I love them.
I can,
love them. So verdicts for me, I'm gonna actually say this is, you're gonna be shocked for a second, but I think it's a new category. That was Horrorble with friends.
Oh, okay.
I really do feel like this is the kind of movie that captures what we even started this podcast about, right? Like, people do enjoy watching those bad horror movies and that are just fun to mock and laugh at, right? So, like, this movie would fit perfectly as a feature in a drive-in theater or a horror movie marathon. Its enjoyment truly comes in the hilarity found in just how bad it can be at times. The effects really sold this movie. I just wish it didn't drag so much that I wanted to melt away.
I liked that category a lot. I'm actually changing mine. So mine was that was laughable.
Yeah.
But I'm going to switch to that was Horrorble with friends because I actually completely agree.
Like, did I enjoy the movie as much? No, but I enjoyed.
No, but I like making fun of
watching it with you, with our friends, like, and making fun of it. Right? Absolutely.
The Incredible Melting Man almost had me with its incredibly fun practical effects, but unfortunately, not even the great Rick Baker could save this movie from wasting its time, having no cohesive plot structure. Maybe melt into your couch with another film and let this one take a trip to Saturn. Get it?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You know, actually, I'm going to stop that because if I do that, then I'm going to get the whole like count allegations, and I don't want any of that stuff. So I'm just 3, 2, 1, go. Here we are. No. Here, take your trivia. It is me. Count trivia. I'm on the run. You cannot tell them when I go. Okay.
It's me, Sesame Street.
Oh no!
The entire embodiment of Sesame Street.
I am not. I am
is
not
there
even.
A man counting here.
I am a werewolf.
Makes sense. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Okay.
Close one count.
Okay. I don't know if that guy's going to be back, so I'm going to go, and you tell him about the trivia, okay? Okay.
Love you.
Okay, thanks, Scout Trivia. So trivia for this one, surprisingly, a lot of trivia to be had in this one, so buckle up, folks. We got a couple of them here. The Halloween season, which followed the film's release, brought at least 2 official merchandising products. Collegeville produced a ready-to-wear children's costume, and Imagineering offered a Melting Man face makeup kit, which sounds incredible, and I want to see these. Rick Baker was originally resistant to working on the movie, feeling he had moved past B horror pictures at this point in his career. Baker threw out a high figure for his work, and when producers accepted it, Baker came on board. So he basically was like, all right, pay me this much money, and they actually paid it for him. So that's the only reason he actually took part in this. I want to say it was like his third like big movie that he'd like taken part in making. Wow, that mask actually looks kind of whack. That looks kind of crazy.
Yeah, I looked up.
Derek has pulled up the rare vintage 1977 Incredible Melting Man, Collegeville, whatever it's.
It looks a little bonkers.
Looks kind of nuts. So reportedly, makeup artist Rick Baker created a number of gruesome appliances that were never used in the film because star Alex Rebar refused to wear them.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, it was not a fun thing. I mean, we mentioned, right, about how he had to, like, peel it off of him, right? Because they had to reapply the goop every single scene. And there were also apparently, in this mixture of like things that he had made, there were multiple stages of his goopiness. So he actually was supposed to have like an evolution of like starting out looking relatively normal and getting more fucked up throughout the entire movie, right?
Trying to do that.
Yes,
something that really worked super well.
The film's budget was so low that the production couldn't afford stock footage of Saturn for its opening scene. Instead, public domain stock footage of the sun and a satellite, a moon, was used for the scene where Scorpio V orbits Saturn. What? So that's why it looked like a solar flare from the sun, because it literally was. It was not Saturn because they couldn't afford it, I guess.
What?
To achieve the gruesome Melting Man monster makeup effects artist Rick Baker fashioned a slightly oversized skull-shaped helmet for actor Alex Rebar to wear. The piece was painted flesh tone and then was covered by a gooey concoction of syrup and paint. The drippy substance would have to be reapplied for every take of the Melting Man. At the end of each shoot, Rebar would have so much of the sticky stuff on him that he would literally have to peel off his costume.
That's awful.
Which sucks. I really hate that. Director William Sachs? How did you pronounce that?
Sachs?
William Sachs. Originally intended for the film to be a campy comic book type straightforward horror picture, the clashing of ideas resulted in much of the offbeat and occasionally bizarre tone of this film. And then finally, director William Sachs' mother gave him inspiration to create this film, actually. She brought home a base coat of paint, which was gooey from her job at the paint factory.
As one is to do.
And she suggested to her son, why don't you use this for a movie?
That's adorable.
His mom comes home like, I don't know, can we do anything with this? Like,
oh, that looks like some guy melted in
why
Saturn.
not? We can do something with this, right? So that is your trivia for the Melting Man, the incredible Melting Man from 1977.
Get it right.
Next week, join us. We will be watching another movie.
And
I'm going to hand this one to Derek.
We're going to be watching Hannibal Rising from 2007.
I know we've done
16%.
We've done a lot of older movies. We've been living in the 80s and 70s. Guys, it's a lot. There's a lot of fun to be had in there. But we're coming more present. We're going to be watching Hannibal Rising from 2007, which is like an origin of like Hannibal Lecter, like Anthony Hopkins version, right?
Yeah, it's after the death of his parents during World War II. Young Hannibal Lecter moves in with his beautiful aunt and begins. Why is that the plot? And begins plotting revenge on the barbarians responsible for his sister's death. Apparently, this movie is just Hannibal killing Nazis.
I feel like they could have just called her his aunt. I don't know why they say lives with his beautiful
That's actually why
aunt.
I read the synopsis. I thought it was really funny. I've only seen Silence of the Lambs and the TV show Hannibal. Mm-hmm. I'm not familiar with any of the other movies. So
yeah, I've never seen anything of this Hannibal Rising movie. So I'm very curious to see where it goes. I'm curious if it'll like kind of try to paint him as if he's killing Nazis, he's got to be some kind of like hero in this, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's going to be hard to make Hannibal a hero. But I'm also curious to see him as a hero.
I guess we're going to get some origin story on why he eats. I don't know. There's a lot. Tune in next week and you'll find out more about this.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It's rated pretty low, so we'll see how this ends up being. But yeah, so tune in next week and find us on all of the socials, please, if you feel so inclined. Follow us on Instagram at that_was_horrible, Twitter at TWH Podcast, Facebook at That Was Horrorble Podcast, YouTube at That Was Horrible, and TikTok at That Was Horrorble.
That was horrible.
That was horrible.
Thanks, guys, and have a great week.
Have a great week, please.
Remember who you are and
enjoy
what you
your time.
For.
The weather is getting better out there. We'll start seeing spring pretty soon here, and so listen to this podcast as you take a stroll out into the woods. Just remember to be careful. Garfield be with you.
Garfield be with you.
Stay spooky.
Stay spooky.
Goodbye.